Hey there. So, welcome to the show. We begin this week asking you how you're feeling.
Hey guys. If you're watching the live version of this live, you can't see me at all because I'm kind of lying down with an ice pack on my brain because my head has been exploding since Tuesday. Since fucking Tuesday.
Yeah, I did try to say that we don't have to do this, but it seems like it's what's the state of it? What's up?
I can do it now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But Wednesday I might not be able to.
Okay.
Right? So like I should do it now. Cuz my head my pill.
Your pills.
Okay. No, I had a migraine on the left side of my head on Tuesday that was fucking me up for a couple days, and then on Friday I got a migraine on the right side of my head. And I'm still dealing with that from Friday.
So the stream schedule is a suggestion?
It's always I did all those streams. They were just short and terrible.
Okay.
They were just bad. They were just bad streams. The KOTOR one was fun because I had a moment where I was playing KOTOR and I'm like, that's weird. I kept blinking, and if you go back and look at the KOTOR, you can see me like blinking and squinting, and it's because when you look at like black text on a really bright white screen too much, and like it kind of burns in your eyes a little bit, so you blink it away. Except that kept going for like 25 minutes. And I'm like, that's not weird.
Nope,
that's weird.
Nope.
That's different.
Yep, that's the head.
And then my head exploded. Like someone stabbed me in the head. And then I was like, okay, guys, stream over. Gotta go, bye. And then I kind of rolled onto the floor and started going, and like trying not to throw up. If only I had my pills.
Yeah. For me, like migraines were, they were always a sign of fatigue. And the only thing that I could do was sleep. Like nothing else would help. All I could do to make it go away is just try to sleep. That's literally it. Nothing ever did anything to lighten it.
That's the solution.
Yep.
So to those of you who are going, oh my god, dude, go to the doctor. I actually have been to the doctor many years ago, and I described similar but not as extreme symptoms, and they asked me, does anyone in your family have migraines? And I said, well, my grandma and grandpa have them on my mom's side, and my mom has them, and my dad has them, and my brother and sister have them. And they were like, oh, okay, well, you're just going to have migraines your whole life then. And I'm like, cool, sick. I'm like, can I get some pills? And they were like, yeah. And I took the pills, and they were like, I'm like, these barely work at all.
Yeah.
These just don't work at all.
My mom had them for my whole life, and I remember wondering about like, okay, so is that something I'm going to deal with? And never did until QA days, and basically like that's when shit got bad, and that's when like it came out, and thankfully those days are behind me, and that's gone away. So like I had a very specific stimuli and trigger for it that I identified.
Yeah, for me it's a random. I mean, if I walk, like I remember what the most common trigger for me would be having to walk home facing the sun around dusk, and you know, like the sun's like blasting in your eyes and you're like squinting, you're like that'll do it. But all sorts of things can cause migraines, including nothing, which is my favorite. My favorite is when they're caused by
Yeah.
nothing. And there's nothing to be done other than run my head under the shower, the hot shower, until I run out of hot water, and then go to sleep.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a thing. Yeah, it's interesting too, cause like of the different types of headaches, you know, like sinus and things like that. Like there's again like I feel like, at least with me, there was always like there's a point where I feel almost like I wish I could like stab this area of my face to make it go away, you know? Or I would like just kind of like there's a specific point that I can like touch and go like, yeah, that's where I kind of want it to go. And on those fatigue days, it was just like it was omnipresent. It was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For me, it's the opposite. I want to push my head back in because it's trying to come out. Like my eye feels like it's gonna pop out of my head, and my temples are gonna like literally explode off the side of my head. My main unfortunately, my main symptom or whatever. I've never gotten the auras before, which is why I was confused. The visual impairment that I described is called an aura, and it's incredibly uncommon in men. It's actually much more common in women. So I guess I'm really taking after my mom because she gets the auras. But the aura is your brain's warning system that parts of your nervous system are getting pinched by your blood vessels.
Okay.
And it makes your eyes fire off all wrong. So as soon as I see those now, I will have to go and take whatever I'm doing and be like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go lay down and put my head in a dark pillow in a room with all the lights off.
Okay.
Well, and by it's aura, AURA, like a sparkling thing around something, not like a JoJo thing, you fucking dweebs.
No, like the attack that Super Shredder does in Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters.
All right.
Aura. Anyway, speaking of short and terrible streams, let's get this show on the road.
Oh, sick ass, incredible.
I'm gonna pretend that I don't see a giant creepy face on the right side of my camera shot. That's freaking me out.
What's the creepy face?
Because that's a visual, but there's something that looks like a half face on the right side of my shot, and it's I can't unsee it, so I won't pay attention to that. But anyway, no, you can't see it either. You're not looking at. You don't have the same shot, so you couldn't tell. Okay. But on the stream, it's there. Anyway, it's really weird. It's super weird. And if you look away, it like there's like a nose and eyes, and it's super fucking. It's anyway. Let's not pay attention to that creepy shit.
Oh, where's the face? I'm trying to find it.
It's.
Oh, I can't see it. I'm blind.
All right. Well, anyway.
I'm blind. Well, regardless, might as well get right into it.
Yep.
So, because this ice pack's only going to stay so cold for so long.
That's fine. We'll try to have a normal length podcast.
I played 2 things this week, and that's all I want to talk about. And one of them I can't even talk about. I beat 13 Sentinels.
Yeah.
That's Game of the Year 2020. Yeah. Somebody asked me, wouldn't Pat, but didn't you love Yakuza 7? Wouldn't Yakuza 7 be your game of 2020? And I said, that's a good point. But Yakuza 7 and 13 Sentinels both share the same place in my heart in terms of, like, they have the exact same enjoyment level for me.
Okay.
But 13 Sentinels is not the 17th game in a long-running series from 2004. Right?
Yes, true.
Like 13 Sentinels is a completely unique thing. Whereas Yakuza 7 is like a really, really, really great one of those,
It's a refined version of a series
right?
versus an original idea. Yeah.
Like I was not being constantly blasted with newness as I played Yakuza 7,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 13 Sentinels, really great. If you've beaten 13 Sentinels, really, really make sure to scroll down to the end of that cutscene viewer after you beat the game.
Yep. That's what I've
Good
been
game.
told.
Excellent game. I will like to have a spoiler talk with you later. But most of that's going to be like, oh man, that was so good.
Yep.
Because it actually wraps up in a nice, neat little package.
Yeah. We'll do
There's
spoiler cast for that once I end up finishing it off.
I also, somebody mentioned to me that the game that I said the game of the year for my 2019 was Outer Wilds. And it's like, yeah, man, I like discovering shit in space.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
space sci-fi
Mm-hmm.
narrative shit. Huh, that's good stuff. I also, upon looking at everyone be mad over the Hitman 3 Epic Game Store stuff, I don't know if we covered that at all,
Nope.
but that's been actual fucking mess.
I
That
didn't.
has
I
been
didn't.
the worst.
I'm not too up on the story. I know that it came out, and my friend told me that it's very good and that he has fun playing the Hitman 3. But beyond that, I don't really know what's going on.
So the IO Interactive does this thing where the games they make are incredible, but the stuff around how you actually play it is the worst ever.
Mm.
So they have this cool system where if you bought Hitman 1 or Hitman 2, you can transfer your progress from Hitman 1 to Hitman 2, and then the Hitman 1 levels become playable in the Hitman 2 engine. So it becomes like a super game. And then for Hitman 3, you can transfer your progress and your levels into Hitman 3 and play them in the new engine, right?
Okay.
That seems really cool. Except now that it's Epic Game Store exclusive and Hitman 2 never came out on the Epic Game Store, they're like, well, your progress can transfer over, but you'll have to rebuy Hitman 2 on EGS to have your levels transfer over. And everyone's like, but you're using our account to sync our progress. Can't you literally just see that we own the game? And it's a complicated situation because I think they're self-publishing the third one, but I think they had different publishers for the first one and the
Oh
second one.
man.
So on top of all of that, Steam players will have to wait till next year if they want to play it on Steam. And if I transfer my save, if I bought Hitman 3 and then did all that crap and then transferred my shit to Hitman 3, I don't know if I can then transfer that Hitman 3 save to the Steam version of Hitman 3 later.
Okay.
Like also if you're playing Hitman 3, because it's constantly tracking your progress and your leaderboards, it's always online, and the save files are split between online and not online, and the fucking servers are dying because they waited till the last moment to turn the transfer on at all.
Man, like the fact that the Epic Game Store is still doing its thing and still just annoying the shit out of people is so weird, because it's like, I think Hades is a perfect example of seeing a game come out for not Steam and it sat there, and then people only gave a fuck once it left the EGS. Like, the entire success and virality of that game was dependent on its freedom.
It's kind of wild because the average, like, you know how people will go, oh, I'll just wait for the Steam release or whatever, right? Or, oh, so it'll really come out for PC in a year. Like, I anticipated that was like the die-hard super hardcores, right? Like the the kind of people that you and I follow on Twitter that are just tapped in, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But the Hades thing really shows like no, like literally no one was talking about Hades until it hit Steam. It's
Nothing.
like the game didn't exist.
Yeah, it gave me the weirdest feeling when fucking like everyone got really excited by it, and like I was like, but this has been here the whole time, what are we doing, you know? Like it was so fucking just like
so IO Interactive came out and they said, hey guys, we realize this is a fucky wucky. We're going to fix it. Don't worry. You'll never have to rebuy anything. They did this after people got very mad and were like, we'll never buy the game anywhere ever again kind of thing. And then they're like, don't worry, we'll have a solution. Well, the game's been out for over a week now and there's still no news on their solution. Right.
Yeah. And I guess they have so much money, they can afford to just keep doing this and keeping that like alternate storefront alive and whatever. And again, I don't think anyone would be that we'd be talking shit about it if it fucking worked properly, you know. But it just
like
continues
Epic Game
to
Store's obviously a part of this, and it's awful again. But like really, IO Interactive, like the first two Hitman games also had similar problems because they decided to have this weird online infrastructure that no one cares about. But like combining that with the Epic Game Store has led to an actual mess. Like it's a fucking mess. So I actually decided I own Hitman 1 and 2, but I'd never played them. It was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I never really got around to it, though these games are excellent. Right? So I've been playing Hitman 1 in the Hitman 2 engine, and I spent literally all week playing one level. Because that's how good these Hitman games are. They are so good. And I know you have a history with Hitman.
Yeah, it's a good ass franchise.
I've played
for the most part.
I've played this. Yeah, there's some good, man. Those games are either incredible or just complete trash,
unplayable shit. There's no in between.
It's so wild. Like Hitman 1 and 2 are classics, but one's a little old. Contracts is kind of trash. Blood Money's one of the best games I've ever played. Absolution is one of the worst games of that generation. Like, it's crazy.
Yep, one or the other. And the sniper missions were great.
Yeah, it's wild. So this is some of the good ones. But because they decided on the very first of the Hitman things to do like an episodic thing where they'd only put out like one level a month or one level every 2 months or whatever. These are like the biggest, most complicated levels ever. Like there's absolutely no question.
So I remember early on when we first got we finished off testing Absolution, and then the next project started, and it was the new Hitman series, and they were releasing it stage by stage, one by one type of thing.
Yeah.
And like each level, like the reason, and we were like, this sounds like a really bad idea for releasing this game. Why would you do it this way? And it's like, because each level is like a full fucking season of development put into it, you know? And I was like, oh shit, okay, I see how they're doing this now. Like the idea is just to make it more and more of a playground, you know, and build on that like replayability idea where there's like a million little things you can find and do.
I mean, I did the tutorial, now. The 2 tutorial levels, right? And like the Paris level, like to my level of completion, which was like 100% the tutorials, and get mastery 20 on the Paris one, and I'm at 17 hours. Like that's a whole game off of what is essentially like their first release.
Yeah.
It's
they
absolutely fucking crazy.
Learned. That's one thing. They learned how to make the good thing, you know, and then Like it seems like from those early ones, they just kind of went like, okay, keep doing this, keep making playground missions, you know.
So
But
I'm
that
excited
back end
to
shit sounds
eventually
fucking
get
terrible.
to 3 in a year at
Yeah,
this current rate of
right.
progress. Game's great. I feel like the online thing is a total blight. Like it is like I understand what they're doing. They want to have like a leaderboard thing, and they want to have their elusive target thing. Do you know about the elusive targets?
Elusive targets existed in the one what I worked on too. Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
thing.
So to those of you who don't know, they were like these fancy targets that assumed you would have total mastery of the level, and they would just dump them into an existing level, and you had like 3 days, and you could only kill them once. And if you failed, you just failed. Um, and that's cool. But like if for example, people playing Hitman 3 right now, the game disconnects from its servers a lot, and they never fully disconnect. But they do that shit where they're like retry, so you get onto the server, and we'll add like 30-second delays and cutscenes or shit like that. And it has no value add at all. Like there's no benefit at all, other than I guess their metrics or whatever. And the reason I bring this up is normally it would just be like a downer, but like the pirated version of the game is dramatically superior.
Oh, that sucks.
The pirated version of Hitman 3
Oh
has
man,
all the levels with all the unlocks, and
and
all the
none of that
elusive targets
bullshit.
are available all the time.
Yeah.
And
That's.
it never breaks its connection to the server.
Oh no. Oh
And
boy.
it's like it is a way better product. To the point where if you bought all of it, like I wouldn't even bat an eyelash if you said, "Yeah, I bought all of them on Steam or whatever," and then I went and downloaded the
Mm-hmm.
pirated version.
See, well, that's where like Steam Workshop should come into play. You know, like just allow people to fucking mod safely through the workshop, and do that, because otherwise they're gonna find the way anyways, and you know, probably do it in
Like
a way that you're not gonna like it.
I looked at somebody sent me like this guy who does speed runs, and I got a look into like what's speed running like in the new Hitman series,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, the speed run attempts can be ruined by the server at random.
Because of the extra time. Yeah, right.
Also,
Okay.
there also appears to be server side validation on updating whether or not you beat certain challenges.
I mean,
So
yeah, like I so they were Absolution was a fucking super metric heavy game back when we were doing it, but I thought a lot of that was based on Square interest, you know, because that's what they were rolling out with most of the projects at the time. Now that they're on their own, I guess they liked the idea and just kept going in on it, you know.
yeah, it's like people. I saw people talking about how like when Hitman 2 came out, they wanted to transfer their progress over, but since they had used online save files, their progress didn't count.
Hmm.
And it's like, and what's weird is like if these games were not, like completely released separately as separate games, and the ability to turn them into one big super game didn't exist, none of that would matter. So like they've given you enough value on these features to be hurt by them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
It,
it's
it
not at all the same thing, but it's similar. I had an experience because I popped back in Dragon Ball Fighters last week, and was just
mhm.
messing around and just going in training mode, trying out new characters, seeing what's going on, and like the decision to break the user interface into, or not user interface, but the main menu. The first decision that you make after pressing start is online or offline, and then you go through the same game, but one of them is loads and just plays normally, and the other constantly has to do server checks every time you do something, and just takes a while to move places and do things. And it's like all of this just so that you can walk around the little fucking you know lobby persistent lobby with other people and go to training mode or go to arcade mode or go to whatever mode while having all these people around you where you can just kind of pick fights and stuff. But like
There's
this gating not but like gating that off to a place where people can go specifically for that doesn't reduce the experience at all. You know, it just makes it worse for people who are not interested in that, who have to go, you know, like who have to go online, because there's things where like you have to be online to use a certain shop, for example, or whatever. So it's just weird to make it all in or all out, as opposed to put the features over here and go there when you're ready, you know?
there's clearly like an entire genre of developer, and I mean like the individual
Yeah.
inside a studio
Yeah.
that is like obsessed with every form of online integration.
Connectivity. Mm-hmm.
And like I don't did you see the Guilty Gear trailer that came out like this morning or last night?
Yeah, it's on the docket, the modes feature,
Okay,
the new
because
modes. Mm-hmm.
I feel like mentioning it now because it dovetails right in. Like they show off this massive explanation of the lobby and like look at all these cool new features, and I'm staring at it. I'm like, this looks like the worst shit I have ever seen. And then
Well,
at the end they go, well, if you really want to just get into a match, we have normal human being matchmaking where you hit the button and wait for a match.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my, thank someone
Yeah.
someone on the team was trying to play something internally and got so mad
Yeah.
that they like screamed at somebody until they put the fucking just matchmake me button
And
into the fucking game.
I bet you I know who that individual was, but
Oh yeah. Oh.
but regardless, I also, but no, part of it is actually the fact that the features as advertised would be fine, but when they were in the playable demo, they weren't working at all. The little
It didn't
avatar
work at
walking
all.
around picking fights thing wasn't fucking working, you know? And so it's just like, this this would be like an extra step, but ultimately fine, providing it does what it says it does. But like all of that ends up being completely extra frustrating when it's obfuscated and then doesn't function, which is what happened in the demo, you know?
Looks like a guy pulling up to your house with like a fancy car and like fancy rims and like a lowrider, and it's like, man, check out my car, isn't it crazy? You're like, cool, okay, let's go somewhere. He's like, it doesn't drive, I gotta get a truck to tow me to where I just leave the car.
So what's
Yeah,
weird is that
these
it's similar to Dragon Ball, in that like when Dragon Ball first rolled out the like ring challenge things, where again you can walk up to anybody standing on the platform and pick a fight with them, like you kind of you ran into a bunch of problems where like you'd try to start a round or try to start a match, but then it wouldn't work, and like and it just seemed like this next level of the usual ArcSys lobby, which traditionally works great when you sit at a cabinet. For some reason, the games where you sit at a cabinet, like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear and
Ultimax,
Grand Blue, Ultimax, all of those games where you walk up to a room and you sit at a cabinet, like it just didn't have that issue. But in Dragon Ball's case, and at least initially, and then in the beta's case for Strive, picking fights in out of the blue with random people you're walking by, just it didn't know what to do, you know? Yeah, thankfully you can just go through menus and ignore all of that shit and just go like find match play, you know?
or just play in training mode and but
hit search.
it's just
Yep.
It's crazy. I'm playing this game and I'm having a great time, and I personally haven't run into a single problem with it. But the online thing is always there, hovering, just waiting to break. Just waiting to break and like steal a win from me. Right? Like I've had moments where even in Hitman 1, which seems to be running on a different, server thing than the new one, where I'll shoot a guy and then I'll be like, yeah, and I'm about to leave, and it goes reconnecting to server, and I'll wait for 30 seconds. It's only happened twice, but each time I'm like, oh, don't you motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you fucking dare. That was such a fucking pain in the ass mission to do. Yeah, I did it so good.
the particular time of the season when For Honor host migration would occur in the middle of a match, and it would just be like, what's happening? Oh, the host dropped. It's picking another host. The whole game has to try to carry over. Oh my god. Oh god, we're just stuck. Okay, now someone got tired and just quit. It's fucked. The whole match is fucked. Nothing happened. Waste of time. Sorry, folks.
That might be the second worst integration of host stuff I've ever played.
They fixed it.
Because
they did fix it, you know.
Because everybody remembers like Gears of War, right? Gears of War, like host advantage was extreme. It was unbelievable. Like the host had like bullets that would travel twice as fast as non-hosts. It was out of control. And that would be like the Gears of War 1 would be my third worst integration of host thing. Number 2 would be
did they ever fix that for 1, or did it just become server side?
Oh fuck no. They put it server side for 3.
Oh my god. Okay.
I was never able to play a single match of Gears of War 2 multiplayer once.
Wow.
Their online was so fucked up that I was not able to connect to a single person ever, despite playing hundreds of hours of Gears of War 1 multiplayer. Pissed me off so bad. The worst ever, the absolute worst ever host migration I have ever played is Warframes. There is no comparison. There is absolutely no comparison ever.
Still, or before?
Ever. Still.
Oh my
to this
God.
day.
Okay.
When the host so it's a 4-player, loot game, multiplayer, you're grinding.
PvE.
So you'll be doing, say, Wooly, you'll be the host. And I'll play, and there'll be 2 other people with us, right? And we're going to do the way Warframe doles out its loot is you essentially get like a chest that you can open later. It's called a relic. And the rewards go as such. A, B, C, C. So the way that works is the first 5 waves will reward you the A loot pool. The second 5 waves will give you the B loot pool. Then C for 10, for 15 and 20, right? Or is it A, B, C?
Sure. Whatever.
Oh, it's A, B, C. My bad. So you're doing 20 waves of defense to get a drop in the C loot pool, right? 20 waves. And on wave 19, Wooly, you disconnect. Okay, well, you were the host. It'll host migrate. There is a 50% chance that the host migration will fail.
As
we won't even keep the items we already dropped. Hey, do you remember you remember you got the relics from the 5 waves, the 10 waves, and the 15 waves?
Oh boy.
Well, the host migration failed. You're just kicked back to the orbiter, and you got 0 for that mission.
Yeah.
And
so that
people will run way longer than 20 waves, by the way. People will run 40, 60, 80, 100 waves.
I can imagine. So that is so bad that, like, I'm just thinking categorization wise, like, there's you would always bump up anything when you're flagging a bug that, like, or an issue that results in loss of progress. Loss of progress is fucking golden. It's a humongous thing because it's detrimental to the game experience, and that would 100% be considered loss of progress if 20 minutes later you didn't get the thing you got. Oh my god.
In some cases you'll be opening a relic, right? So you'll use the relic and you'll go to a mission that opens the relic so that you can get the weapon part inside. And when the host migrates, the game will have registered that you opened the relic, but not registered that you got the item, so you'll lose both. So you'll actually be worse than when you started.
Wow.
It'll be negative progress.
And for all the bump iterating that they do, they never made it a
Dedicated
server-side
servers
thing.
cost money.
Yeah, they do.
Dedicated servers cost money.
They do. They really, really do.
It's one of those things.
Uh,
This is the worst case scenario, right? This doesn't. This has only happened to me about 5 times.
wow, someone said this
In
is
the-
why
in
I
the-
quit.
in a whole bunch of Warframe time. This is this happened to me about 5 times. People are pointing out, yes, it also resets all the enemy spawns, which means you can sometimes load back in and just instantly die.
Swindler of progress. Yeah, okay.
But when that happens, game is done for the day. At least the day. Right? Like, just fucking fuck this. I'm out.
Is there any other like pseudo MMO out there that doesn't use dedicated servers? Because that sounds like a really, really bad combination. I'm surprised to hear about this. I didn't know that was a thing.
Destiny does do that.
Okay.
But
yeah, okay.
But Destiny does not have these issues. If an item drops in your inventory,
You pick
it's
it up and
in your
saves.
inventory.
Yeah,
It's forever.
Oh man, okay.
It's it sucks. Host migration is the bane of everyone's existence.
Please wait.
Don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, well, again, I feel like that's the last game I ever played that had that, For Honor was. So.
Oh, For Honor is wild. That your game would be over if a host migrated. Like that. That was the end of that.
But like, to Ubi's credit, like with the team, they made it, and then they went, yep, okay, this sucks, and then they just switched to dedicated servers, and then like continued making it.
I feel like every time I go back to play For Honor, it's a different game.
Yeah, it is because I'm friends with someone who's a dev on it, and like they kind of just really leaned into like, yo, the people that are still around that are playing this the most are like having competitive fun, and let's just make it fun for those people. Let's build, like they kind of just iterated around like the people that stuck around essentially.
I have a way more like snide way to phrase that.
Okay.
Which is like, hey, the people stuck around for the good parts. Why don't we make the game good? Let's make the whole game good.
Fine.
Why don't we take the good parts of the game and use those good parts to make a good game?
Another way of phrasing it is like, at first they weren't listening to anybody, but then later on they waited and then they did. Like this world can be framed through multiple lenses.
Yeah, it can be. So it's funny because I always see people complain about For Honor, like always, and it's always about character balance.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no longer about this fucking piece of shit game is so broken, which is nice.
Yeah, and the conversations I've had like with that friend have been like cool, I guess, when there's describing like, yeah, so this was a problem, and then this was being used in this way, so we said, okay, well, how could we do this but keep that and stuff, and it was like, okay, they went about it with like the right mentality, like that the patch mentality that I kind of discussed with like Rising Thunder and shit like that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I haven't touched this game in a while, but I mean, it's a living game. You do have to like keep up with it if you're going, and like whatever you don't like might get adjusted at some point. I don't think they're touching it like monthly, but I do know that like it's a pretty regular like balancing season. So anyway, that sucks.
That's it for me.
Okay.
Hitman game's incredible. Wow, what an incredible game. It's got an albatross hanging around its neck every second of the minute that you play it.
What's the coolest assassination you've set up?
You pop the fireworks in the Paris level, and then everybody goes out to watch the fireworks, and then you sneak up behind one target on the 4th floor and throw her off the balcony, and she lands on the second target who's on the ground floor and kills her.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's labeled as an accident.
Right.
And I have to look at that and be like, what motherfucker looks at this and goes, oh, what an accident. Like, it's like, you fucking serious?
That's pretty good. I'm still so fond of the dude playing the cello on the villa.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, like, as he's playing, you just wait for that moment right in between the concerto, and like when he goes silent, that's when you do it, and then you just look out at the fucking view. It's great.
My favorite Hitman kill ever, by far, is, I think it's in Blood Money as well, but I can't quite remember, is the Opera House, where you just replace the prop gun with a real gun. And that's it. That's it. That's the whole mission.
Yep.
It's such an obvious, classy solution.
Yeah. Now the
because
way
you get to watch. Oh, it's so good.
The path backstage is very convoluted, but once you do, all you got to do is just swap the prop gun out. That's a good one.
I love it. I forgot, but I should also talk about a game I played the other day called Mutant Year Zero.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's that weird game that looks like XCOM, and you play as a duck man and a pig man.
Sure.
It's really fantastic. It's like they put you in like a XCOM map, but you freely explore. And the gameplay is 100% XCOM. It's just blatantly like top to bottom 100% with a couple changes. One, your 2 characters or 3 characters are walking around with the health and items that they have after every fight. So if you botch a fight really bad, you're going into the next one with like 2 health.
Big Howard the Duck vibes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ducks. His name is Ducks. It's Ducks and Boorman, the boar. And like he replaces the word fuck with ducks, like shut the duck up. It's terrible. But what was I saying? The primary like gameplay loop isn't like you walk into a fight. It's you realize there's a bunch of guys and you stealthily walk around them as you try and pick away the stragglers with stealth weapons.
Okay.
So you're bringing a fight down from like 8 people down to 2. And then you go and fight the 2 and you barely win. Like it really feels like you are like guerrilla warfaring like a dramatically superior force
now,
in every fight.
If you're saying XCOM clone, then that comes with percentage memes. Are there percentage memes?
Yes and no. There are 4 percentages in Mutant Year Zero.
Okay.
25, 50, 75%, and 100%. And that's it.
Okay.
That's literally it.
So none of that, you have a 99.5% chance of landing the shot, and then just like XCOM players with the sweating
oh yeah. I talked about it when I was streaming it, and I realized that was what was going on. And I looked at it, and it's like 75% is the perfect number because it's probably going to hit, but it's honest enough to go, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to hit. I'm not going to lose my mind over missing a 75% chance shot, right? Where you'll get a 98% chance to hit, and it'll miss, and it's fuck this game. Fuck this piece of shit. This game lies.
How would you feel about 92%?
Bullshit. No,
okay.
This is how it should be done.
Well, then
this is
we can safely throw Dokapon on that list.
But yeah, game's great. It's kind of it's like 20 hours. It's like a single player adventure with XCOM combat. It's incredible. It's really fantastic. I can't recommend it enough.
Okay. Over yonder, actually, well, for more of that, tune into.
Twitch.tv/Pat Stares At. I'm going to be playing Cyber Shadow this week, which is that new Yacht Club published game, as well as The Medium, which is that game.
Cyber Shadow's rad. I've played it. I tried the demo out. It's really cool. It's very classic, and it's absolutely oh man, this would have been great on the SNES, except for all the parts where this cheats because the SNES could not handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's full authentic, but it's great.
So I'm doing Cyber Shadow, and I'm also doing The Medium this week, which is made by the Layers of Fear and Observer people, and scored by Akira Yamaoka.
Yeah.
And it is straight up, no one's going to make another new Silent Hill game. We are going to just make a new Silent Hill game. Like, it's about a lady who can talk to ghosts navigating through the real world and the nightmare world with Akira Yamaoka tunes in the background. It's very, very overt. So I got to check it out. I have to check it out.
So the theme of the week in every story has been that one meme of Capcom proposing to Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
I have seen it. Konami looking at Silent Hill in the background going,
And no, Silent Hill is looking at the proposal going, oh my god, I'm so happy for her. And then Konami's as the boyfriend of Silent Hill is just like, motherfucker, we're making us all look bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be checking that out. I hope it's good. And I forgot. I played the Maiden demo for Resident Evil 8. Sorry, Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
And the Maiden demo, somebody asked me what I thought of it earlier today, and looks pretty. That's it. There's nothing in that demo. It's just like, do you want to look at our pretty locations? Yes, they are very pretty.
Okay.
That is it.
Well,
also, yes, big mommy, milky vampire lady.
Milky? Who said milky?
Yeah, everybody's saying milky.
You said milky.
Everybody says milky now.
I mean, I ain't gonna turn it down, but
you
brought that into the conversation, my friend.
I did. So I want to point out, I did not bring that into the conversation. People are constantly telling me,
damn,
what to say, and they put it in the conversation.
That ain't bad. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, big. Actually, you know what? Nyanners put it into the conversation.
Okay.
The first time I ever remember seeing anyone talk about big fat titty mommy milkies was definite. I would think was like Nyanners is like your American Truck Simulator stream.
Okay.
Like it was just ranting about it.
I seen the screaming crow that interrupts the pigeon. That's just like, step on me, mommy.
The one that absolutely killed me was Jesse and what's his name? Breaking Badman.
Walter White.
Yeah, Jesse and Walter White sitting at breakfast, and Jesse just says, "Need tall vampire mommy," and he goes and fucking Walt goes, "What?" And he goes, "Big mommy." Mommy milkies. And he goes, "Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's man. What the internet that's what the internet has been for the past week. That's literally all it's been.
And here's the fun part is that like multiple friends I know that don't give a shit about Resident Evil are like super on board and in with this just based on those clips. You know, like a couple of different friends I have are all just like way on board, diving into the memes, taking part, you know, and are just like, and have like probably never even bothered looking twice at the franchise. So, smart move on Capcom's part. They know what they're doing there.
I will say one thing, and I do want it to be on the record for the podcast, is that they talked a while ago how that weird fetus symbol with the branches behind it was so important to the story that they didn't feel like they should show it, and it's like it's the Umbrella logo. And in this demo and some of the promotional material, you see that there's an old version of the Umbrella logo all over the place. And the more I look at Alcina Dimitrescu, which is this lady's name.
I didn't get the first.
I realized.
Alcina. Okay.
Yeah, it's mentioned in one of the what do you call it, the files in Village's demo.
I think Lady D is good enough. I think.
Yeah, Lady D works perfectly.
Yeah.
So Lady D is 8 feet tall, almost exactly. She's 96 inches tall. She is ashen gray, extremely physically able, and has big claws on her right hand, as well as a gigantic red rose on her upper left collar. And if you turn that into a silhouette, that would be a fucking tyrant.
That's interesting.
That bitch is a tyrant. That they're going to do this thing where this is the origin of all the Umbrella shit, and this is the ideal they were trying to mass produce. Could it just be a thematic reference
as opposed to like a literal?
It could be, but nothing in Resident Evil is ever subtle.
Okay.
It's always directly related and on the nose. Like this lady might as well be like, remember where people were like, what if Mr. X was a big tall titted lady?
Yeah.
I think that is literally what this actually is.
Okay.
I think this is actually Ms. X or Mrs. X.
So some sort of eyeball shoulder brooch. I don't know what
she's gonna become very she probably, you know what, everyone's like, oh man, people are gonna, the horny will go away once she becomes a big goop monster with the tentacles.
Fuck no.
I don't think that, so I don't even think that's gonna happen. I think she will become like maimed and scorched and
yes,
like
I was about to say what would be way cooler would be just battle damaged and not giving a fuck.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll see a transformation on that one.
Mm-hmm. If you just start seeing like the fucking the damage as like, you know, the game goes on and by the end it's like, yeah, ripped and scorched and all fucked up and just like still coming for you. That's pretty good. That's strong.
No, don't chase my penis, said the internet.
Yeah, no, a million little jokes and memes and fucking TikToks, running to the door but when she's behind you and then locking it and turning around to face her, you know. So yeah, cool.
That's
cool.
Yeah, everything's it's good. That's me for the week. Off to you, Wolves. What's up with Wolves?
Not much. Pretty short, but a couple of things worth noting. Obviously, the LPs continue, but yeah, of note would be Hyper DBZ. Went back to check that out. That is the fan-made Mugen Dragon Ball game that we played a couple years back. That had really incredible sprites. And they were made to look as if they were CPS2 era. I don't know if you recall this, but I think upon seeing it, you might jog your memory. It was essentially a this really amazing fan project that had talented ass artists, you know, or artists singular maybe, I'm not sure. But like they made a fucking really cool Dragon Ball game that has a lot of love put into it. So they kept working on it.
I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, it looks really cool.
It's great. It's great. It's one of the few the original Mugen games. You know, I always tell of the days when you had the Mugen community, and there was like the chaff, which was people who, well, actually no, there was three groups. There were the creators that were just grabbing sprites and trying to recreate their favorite characters from their favorite games so that you can put your Terry Bogard into your CVS3 crazy match mix up with a bunch of Mortal Kombat and Ninja Turtles characters in it, right? That was a whole lot, if not the majority, of the creative section. There were the people that only downloaded and played games and didn't create stuff, that were just like the mashup people. And then there were the few that were making original games, designing their own stages, sprites, and custom things to basically do all the work that an original game would require, but use Mugen as the engine to put it all together. And those were the people that garnered fucking respect because they were doing it. You know, they were using the engine to make their original game, as opposed to just the All-Stars crossover, you know, what Mugen comes to mean when you think of the word, you know, the salty bet type of world. And yeah, this firmly fits into that. Like, it's a really awesome, well done original game. And like the fact that they're still updating it after all this time, and they're just putting up new current Super DBZ references. I know they're working on Jiren, and every character has like, there's multiple transformations and less like, you know, different levels of final super you can go through. Like you can get like Goku to go Ultra Instinct, and then depending on like how much hope charge meter you have to build up your Genki Dama, you actually do different levels of final super, that you have like 4 different levels that you can. It's wild. The whole point is just lots of variation, lots of fun stuff, and they're equally paying attention to all the accurate material and making sure that like characters are doing things straight out of the manga pages, straight out of the anime, you know. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. One of the coolest things is like everyone kind of has a instinct mode, you know, as you'd put it in KI, but I think it's actually called that. And like for Goku, it's hope mode, where you can, you know, have everyone lend you their power as you charge up the spirit bomb. For Krillin, it's confidence mode, where he can, you know, go from being a coward to being confident for just a little bit, and that's when Krillin does the badass stuff that we all know, you know. Yeah, exactly. Frieza has sadistic mode. Piccolo goes into like demon mode, you know. This great stuff.
I miss Krillin. I know that's a weird thing to say because Krillin is like around and will always be around. I miss Krillin's ability to do anything.
He's probably my favorite character in the game. Like, I think if I had to pick a main, I would go with Krillin in this. He was a whole lot of fun to just like fly around the screen with and shoot out destructo discs and shit. Yeah, so Reggie and I took a look at it and just kind of went around, and like it's one of those games where flying through the move list would take forever because each character has like pathways to go through, you know, and that's what you want to see, you know. And like they didn't avoid the trap of making multiple copies, because there is 2 Gokus and 3 Vegetas. Somehow there's more Vegetas for once. That's kind of wild. But you know, to their credit, each of them has transformations, you know, and one would hope that like as they continue to update the game, they kind of make things more so based on that idea and not just like, you know, creating new slots, as it were. Because, you know, regular, like Super Saiyan can go Super Saiyan 3, regular can go Ultra Instinct, you know, they can go, Vegeta can go from regular to blue and all that shit. So the transformations exist within the same forms, you know. Yeah, really fun game. Check it out. There's a video going to come up for that soon for getting to fighting games. And that was a good time. I also am like always like there's always a part of me that's like it's been a long time and people have figured out how to do things with Mugen that that weren't around back in my day. Like back in my day there was no win poses or not win poses.
Okay, old man. Calm down.
No. I'm just pointing out that people found tricks to do things. So if you wanted a character with a win quote, the win quote had to appear in game over the whole fight after your win pose was done. And it was not its own separate thing, So the timing always felt a little bit weird, but people figured out ways to do it. And now they've since put in a lot and figured out how to get intros in there and all kinds of fun stuff. But there's always something that feels like Mugen when you see an air combo and then someone drops to the ground. You can recognize instantly. There's a feel, an exact weight, and people can fuck with the numbers and change it, but they often don't. They often don't tweak these little interactions that much. They'll tweak jump heights and speed and other little things, but the feeling of a character dropping out of an air combo onto the ground will always be instantly recognizable for Mugen. It's just a little thing to it, And the moment I see someone fall with a different sort of physics or something like that, suddenly you can kind of question what is this? This is a different engine. Something else is going on here, and that still, those trademarks still exist here in Hyper GBZ. So check that game out. And yeah, other thing this week was I tweeted it out, but for a long time I've talked about my favorite manga, Vagabond. It is fucking work of art is an infinite understatement. It is a story of Miyamoto Musashi, and basically it covers his life and his journey from being a child to growing up into the legend, so to speak, and how that's not obviously as glamorous as it might sound, but it's really just a zen story that focuses a lot on interesting concepts in Buddhist philosophy, and overall just it's way more peaceful than any violent ass samurai story deserves to be. It's fucking, it's great. And
the only thing I know about Vagabond is you basically talking it up and how great it is. But I'm kind of loath. Yeah, but you have in the past, and I remember each time that you have, it's been very high praise. But I'm kind of loath to get into it. What with situations like the Game of Thrones. So does it end well?
So this is what the story is about, right? Because for the longest while, it was on hiatus, and we got 37 books in to the journey, and you could see that from book one, the Takahiko Inoue has been putting his fucking soul onto the page. I know you hate that type of talk, but
no, not necessarily. I get it.
You open up some of these pages where the dude's just standing in a forest, and I've described it where every blade of grass, has a division and a texture to show you the little streaks on the blade of grass. Every bark of tree has a pattern and texture on it, individualized to make up the full root. Nothing is unlabored, and it goes a long way to conveying beauty in nature when they want you to fucking feel that. When they want you to feel something where the world is more important than whatever these characters are doing. He's a master of that, right? And oftentimes, like, the words that the characters are exchanging will be understated, muted. Sometimes there'll be like no words for a while. It's just a very, like, you know, it's a vibe of a manga. So it was on hiatus for a while, basically, as of, like, I want to say it was 2015 is where it kind of stopped and we weren't getting new books anymore. So even then, before that, he took previous breaks from it, but he did keep working on another series called Real, which is a basketball manga, which he's very passionate about.
It's kind of a jump. Okay.
He's always been passionate about it, you know. It's been there. Well, anyway, there have been hints and clues over the years as to what was happening and why, but we never quite got a final confirmation. But excuse me. But this last month, finally, we have some answers and some closure. So in 2008, when he first kind of hit this initial hiatus point, there was a vernissage. There was like an exhibition called The Last, and it included lots of never before seen artwork that he had. And there was a chapter that was basically Vagabond, the epilogue, the end of the story. And this could theoretically be wherever the journey goes, this is where it would end. It never got released outside of that exhibition. It was only there. And the story, he continued to make new chapters after that, but eventually hit that point again where he took a break. And now we finally got scans of this final epilogue and a message explaining what happened and why he stopped.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, his words explain it the best, but effectively, the summary I can give you is that he kind of hit a point where, like, when the story is beautiful, it's like I said, it's unbelievable. He pours everything into it, and when it's violent, it's the same thing. It is crazy how brutal it gets at times, and he effectively was hitting a point where he was trying to make a message about, like, beauty and things, but he's a very sensitive person, and, like, working on it and, like, going down, like, some of the darker paths that it has to, like, go through was actually, like, hurting him and causing him stress and anxiety. And on top of that, he puts everything into every page. As I mentioned, the last couple books were, like, way more detailed than the ones he did earlier in his career. You could see that. So he kind of started to feel like that, just kind of like the depictions of, like, of murder were, like, starting to really get to him, you know? And the story is one that requires these characters to build up to a legendary fight that, you know, creates this legend that we know. And you could see the parts where the story starts taking a turn away from, like, a lot of the glory of the violence, because it's basically just showing you how, like, shit it is to kind of, like, be the best swordsman in a way. And he goes through this, like, kind of these mental, like, changes and these revelations, but historically it still has to go back to this dark place. And it sounds like he tried to stop and figure it out and then come back to it, but then the second time he just couldn't bring himself to come back to it, you know? It affected him that heavily. And the epilogue we get explains that. And then the characters and then the actual chapter itself is just a beautiful send-off to everything that happened along the way. And it's finally some closure to the story. It serves as a kind of, like, a fast forward through time, you know, to the end of the journey of some of the characters that we've seen. and you get a feeling of like really warm closure from reading it. And if I had access to this story back when this first was happening, it wouldn't have hurt as much because I just didn't, because none of us knew what was going on. But now that I've read this, I feel okay to let it go, close the book, and just be like, and that's Vagabond. And the reasons he gives for stepping away from it are super personal and respectable. And like, yeah, man, you took us on a really great journey. Thank you so much for what you've done. And I'm okay to let it go,
I'm a little confused as to why, if this is such a piece of closure, why when this exhibition came out he didn't just tell everyone what the reason was.
Yeah, I
Like,
so
why like you're treating this like it's a hidden, like a piece of archaeology, like, look, we found the reason. It's like, why
I
didn't you
have
just fucking hop on Twitter and just tell people?
So we don't know, but I have a guess. My guess is that, because remember, after this came out, he continued working on it. My guess is that he didn't want to stop, but he went after that, because like basically that thing came out, he took another hiatus, and then he returned to it again and then stopped again. So I feel as if he made that but didn't want to go, this is the final marker for sure. He just kind of wanted to put down on paper what he was feeling, and then if he could get back to it, then he would, but then in the end he couldn't, So it's a way of kind of like putting down where he was at the time. And then he kind of, and he does say, he's like, I'm not sure. He's like, I'm learning things about myself as I go here, So like, I think it was just, this is what he's feeling at the moment. He's going to try, but we know how the future plays out looking back on it. And if the future played out differently and he didn't end up stopping again indefinitely, then we wouldn't be looking at this that specially, It would just have been a little like omake some years back. But now it's not.
It's a complicated situation, and I'm talking all the way on the outside. I'm not, and obviously I can see people talking in the chat. I don't necessarily mean Twitter. I could mean the magazine he's writing for, or a newspaper, whatever. I just mean public statement. I just say Twitter because you could just do it in 2 seconds. It's complicated because I'm not gonna sit here and say that, well, because he started it, he's got to finish it or else burn him, right? He's not Grimm. It hasn't been, what is it, fucking 40 years or whatever the fuck it is for Game of Thrones, and there hasn't been live footage of this gentleman not writing his manga for decades, right? Grimm is a whole different fucking game. Of
Thrones.
I felt it. And I can absolutely, I can't personally empathize, but I can sympathize with, if you're writing like from the heart, I guess it would be, and you are putting it all out there and it's going into topics that are like essentially damaging you, why you would want to stop or why it would be best for you to stop. But one of the things that I'm more confused about is not necessarily talking about like, why wouldn't he make this even pseudo public, or even like not necessarily right away, but later or earlier than now. Not just because of like a vague responsibility to the audience, because that's, I mean, you could go for or against that, but because he was working on something else with the total lack, like, say, prior to you finding out about this exhibition, it was just a big fat question mark, right?
It was a big fat question mark, but he had hinted at like anxiety being an issue.
Okay. Because without any details, if the writer of My Favorite Thing just immediately stopped writing My Favorite Thing and started writing something completely different, no problem, I'd be furious.
He didn't stop.
Like, I might
he'd been doing Real the whole time. They were simultaneous. The difference was just this.
Okay.
He didn't switch over to it. They were both going.
But okay, that makes it probably easier. But I legitimately wonder. I understand this is a pseudo like internal struggle, but I wonder if it would. I don't know how fans. I don't know how Japanese manga fans on social media act. I imagine they act about as appropriately as social media fans of anything out here. I can only imagine it might have been legitimately easier for his mental well-being to just come out straight with it than deal with the fucking brigade of you motherfucker, why you write the basketball
Well,
and not the vagabond.
first of all, fortunately, due to the subject matter of Vagabond, people that are fans of it tend to be a little more chill, I get the impression, because I haven't seen anger or hatred directed towards him over this. I've seen
How's
confusion.
your Japanese?
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't speak for the other side of the world. I can only speak for the
Yeah.
English speaking fans. But it has not been the level that we see from other mangaka going on hiatus when things get bad. Fortunately, but it's a chill story, so maybe people are a bit more chill about it. But beyond that,
The
though,
Hunter x Hunter hiatuses are weird because like it's always tinged with like hurry up and finish it versus well, but don't die also because if you
yeah.
die, you won't finish it.
You see, that's the thing too. Is it's not a chill. It's not a shonen series in a way, right? It's not
Yeah.
like a Shonen Jump fucking thing out there. It's like it's this other thing. But I think the answer to all the questions as to like, hey, why wasn't you could have the things could have been more straightforward. Why weren't they? Is ultimately the question. And I think the answer is again just because he was working it out. I think he just didn't know himself, and we got updates when there were updates, and this, looking back on it, was like almost a like, this might be it, maybe, and then he continued working through it, and now we can say, yeah, that was it. He didn't know at the time, he was thinking maybe, but now we can look back and go, yeah, that was it. You know,
I have an idea.
and it helps that it's a good ass epilogue. If it wasn't, then it would be, a lot harder to.
Does it still feel like there's like a massive time like skip, or does it feel like it could actually be like that was an ending that
Oh
was
no, there's a massive skip. There's definitely a
okay?
massive skip.
I have an idea that will make everyone happy. Um, no more stories that take more than 2 years to write.
Yeah, there you go.
Your story has to end so that if you get tired,
Yeah.
you can just bang it out, or what have you.
I mean, honestly, like, dude, there's nothing. There's like this. This is a journey that like seeing seeing the other side of it, seeing the reasons why. Like, I hold no ill will, frustration, malice about
Yeah.
how we got here and why. Um, just getting that closure feels good, and like I feel no reason to like look back on this and go, damn, dude, you should have done this differently. Because I also think, and this is the key to me at least, I think that the same passions and like attributes that allow him to make this as good as it is are also what make him so sensitive to the work.
Mm-hmm.
It goes hand in hand. The quality we got came from the same thing that's making it so hard for him to continue right now.
That makes sense. I wanna point something out. I'm seeing like 10, 100 people go, Pat, shut the fuck up. You play Final Fantasy 14. That's an MMO and that's been around forever. Nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Every part of Final Fantasy 14 story is a self-enclosed narrative that takes exactly 2 years, and it's where came up with the number that I just said. And bonus, the game that came out prior, which was FF11, has a definitive ending, which was quite rare for ongoing, still being produced MMOs. So fuck off, everyone. I win.
So
waiting.
if you're a fan of Vagabond and you've been waiting, go to mangadex.org and check out Vagabond the Final. And you can also just Google Vagabond the Final, and it'll be the top link, and it'll just be, the epilogue chapter. And you'll know it's the right one because the cover is a picture of the main character with some age on him. And if you've been through this series, take a moment, sit down, grab a drink and just chill, turn your music off and just fucking vibe, just get back right into the mentality of Vagabond and like finish it off,
Right.
say goodbye to the story. It's a great one.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Yeah.
This might sound absurd, but this is a real question. If say this epilogue didn't happen and your choice was literally nothing, or the author going, you know what, that shit was very stressful. I'm trying to turn over a new, emotional place in my life. Here's the new epilogue. And the epilogue is everybody just starts to do it. And it's a super graphic, like Dojin. And he's like, that's the end. That's how I always meant for the story to end. Would you prefer that or nothing?
So Sword Art Online?
I don't know, but I actually don't know. Is that what ends? Is that how that goes?
I thought something like something glops. I don't know.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god, totally how Sausage Party ends. I just realized that.
There you go.
That's totally the end of a real movie.
Okay. Perfect. 2 years worth. I'm
dumping all my hiatus into the Vagabond. Is that what the story would be?
I'm gonna go read the whole thing again from top to bottom, and unfortunately, my OCD towards like the collection is I have a severe like fucking problem where my book collection is actually volumes 2 to 37. And the person I loaned
where's one?
I loaned it to someone who never gave it back.
You should kill that person.
So I went to go rebuy it, right? But rebuying Vagabond, the only version you can get now is the big Tankobon collection, which is the first three together. So I no longer have a version of a one that fits on my shelf. So I have to have the big gathering. It's like imagine if you have all the regular JoJo's and then you lose JoJo 1, Volume 1, so you have to go get a Jojonium to replace it.
Yeah, just go kill that person and get your thing back.
So it's gone.
That's the better solution. That's
yeah. I've got to
Here's the question. Well, you described it as OCD, and here's the question, because here's the solution. Here's what an actual OCD person's brain goes and does. Is the solution to throw out all the books you already have and replace them with the collection
with the big one?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
because that's what that would actually.
I don't know. It's maybe that might make it go away, but the problem is that I prefer the older books because they have more beautiful art on them. The collections have to like put it all together into like 3-in-1, but like the individual ones have like really beautiful covers.
I guess it's time to kill then.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
I can't believe you just nonchalantly was like, yeah, I lent it to somebody and they didn't give it back. Like, I would have expected more like just seething fury.
Well, the problem was like for a while I loaned it to a couple people that did give it back. So for a while I couldn't keep track of who I loaned it to.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because most people were cool about it, but then one person wasn't, and I couldn't even remember who it was.
So you don't even know who to kill.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's only one solution to that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Get a list.
There you go. Anyway,
You'll get that book eventually, buddy.
that's what I recommend everybody do. And if you haven't, but you're interested, you can read Vagabond. It's gonna be super worth it no matter what. And just know that the story will end at volume 37, and then you'll have to read the epilogue, and that's what you'll get.
I just realized, you know, Wooly, if you decided that getting that book was really important and decided to kill your way down the lending list and then got like 6 people in and were like, I am tired of death, I cannot go any further, then that you'd have your own ending to Vagabond.
Yeah, time for me to just go and start sculpting shit in a cave. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's it. One day I'll find that book, but if I don't, that's okay. I've accepted this fate. Actually, I've always considered that I might be able to track it down if I like eBayed it or like, I don't know, searched for an original volume or something, but we'll see. Anyway, man, yeah, like this shit for me was like, I don't know. When I was first reading it was while I was in art school, and it set such it wasn't even about setting a bar. It was the first time I remember, like, I opened it up and I read it and I was like, oh, there's no hope. It's not this is how good it can be and how you can see this bar and it's up to you to fucking surpass. No, there's no surpassing it. It was the most beautifully futile moment I ever felt.
So it's not Sakura getting to fight Ryu for real and Ryu kicking her ass in. It's Sakura fighting Ryu for real and Ryu kicking her ass in, and then watching as Akuma fucking double perfects Ryu into the floor.
Yeah. And then kind of looking at your fist and going, what am I doing? What am I even doing here? You know? Yeah, it is truly like, you know, Mount Stupid, you know? It's your Dunning-Kruger, Mount Stupid. It lifts you to Everest and just shows you how absolutely far you are from ever even thinking about maybe acquiring a modicum of his skill, you know?
Well, that's because you should internalize your own value by your own growth and not the comparison to others, says people that are more confident than you or I.
Comparison is in fact the theft of joy.
Well, not always. I mean,
however,
if you're at the locker room and your dick is twice the size of the guy's next to yours, I mean, you stole his joy, I guess. Wag it around a bit. Take that, idiot.
Yeah. I you know, again, I just it broke something inside of me while I was learning how to art. And I kind of just never put it back together cuz it felt better that way. You know? It felt better broken. Anyway, that is Vagabond. And I will probably not mention it again for a very long time because I prefer it that way.
Until he gets back and really, really finishes it.
Maybe. But Secret Goat, in my opinion.
I gotta say, I am happy for everybody that followed that manga because at least having something and like the more than the epilogue itself, the fact that the epilogue got released in any form, like putting the kibosh on the daily hope of maybe he'll go back to it, right? Is because like if Miura just quit making Berserk chapters right now and said I am retiring, I would probably be happier than I will be in the 10 years when he dies and Griffith continues to live.
Right. Like, so that, and to, reiterate that feeling of like this being a successful way to do it, or at the very least, like a good feeling way to go, is you get that epilogue, and then the last page of the epilogue is a letter from the guy explaining his what happened, So it's the combination of both of those things where you're like, wow, what a great send off. And then you read the reasons and you go, fucking have a good time. Have a good day. All the best. Thank you so much. I hear really good things about the basketball manga though. So people have said, hey, go read Real. It's really, really good. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I mean, unintentionally, but
it's really good.
Yeah.
How really good is it? Real good.
And so that is what is up with my week, and the rest of it is going to be spent working on Guilty Gear lore. So, got to take another week to put it all together. It's about that time, as you guys might recall. So the third episode, I'm working on it right now. Excuse me. It's a doozy. It's gonna cover a lot. There's some we gotta move in this episode. We gotta fucking move. We got some ground to cover. So this is gonna be a whole lot of shit going down, and it needs a lot of my time.
I think your Guilty Gear project is quite cool, but I was not aware until earlier today when I saw the new Guilty Gear trailer that you are working on a very, very discrete, specific time limit, as they are putting that Guilty Gear World feature into it, which is just going to hit people up with the date and time of all events in the Guilty Gear history series.
Oh, do you mean the feature that's been there since Sign?
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I said that I couched this whole thing within I did not know until I saw.
Yeah, no, dude. Exerd version 1 had GG World in it, and this is just GG World getting updated again.
Okay, well that's nice.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going through it. We're making moves, and it's gonna be a doozy, but I'm gonna need some time for it. So I'm going to be taking the week off of streaming. I know it's right on the cusp of fucking 13 Sentinels wrap up, so the
timing is pretty awful. I have to admit, I've been waiting to talk to you about 13 Sentinels for like months.
Yeah, maybe I can do it on Saturday. But like these episodes, I wanted lore to be once a month, and the work effort was just too high and too dense for that to be made possible. But I still have to get to a finish line, so I have no choice. I gotta get it done, and something's gotta give. And in this case, it's gonna be a little bit of time on the things without deadlines, RLPs, after all, right? So I hear you, but this is how I have to balance my time. So
why don't you just do it worse but faster?
Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. That'd be great. Just read out the script and fucking do a shitty acapella of all the music.
Oh,
society.
Okay, listen. A shitty acapella of all the music would actually be way more work, and people would really dig.
2181 AD. Soul bad guy is actually soul good guy. Yeah.
The end.
I know who I am.
I think it's always funny when
people think about wife, fight wife, kill wife, think about wife, Kill wife.
Kai,
Think
why
about
girl?
wife.
Why girl ice? My girl now wings king me. What?
The backyard. Society. It's over. Wooly versus. Yeah. Bakuyado. Oh, we're gonna talk about the backyard this time. We're gonna break it all down. It's gonna be fun. I love how just because of that first time when I introed it, you have a permanent distaste for the entire concept because of the time I introed it on that one video.
I would.
That was the moment you decided the bit is damn Wooly's talking about this. Fuck the backyard.
It's not a bit. Like everything I ever heard about the backyard, I'm like, this is a stain. I don't like it. All right, but that's fine.
I will explain it in detail, and you, the listener, can decide. Anyway, that's gonna be my week.
You gotta finish 13 Sentinels so you can get on all these 13 Sentinels memes.
Oh yeah,
come on!
I'm already getting the safe ones, and I also
they're good.
I got my keychains, bro. I got my fucking Yuki, I got my Ogata, and I got my Miwako. So I'm sorted.
Those are good picks.
Those are the picks. Anyway, more to come on that next week. But for now, that's going to be it. So if you would like to see more of 13 Sentinels, which is, getting to that finishing line, as well as Yakuza 0 and Reggie versus Demon Souls, please tune in to Wooly Versus on YouTube and Wooly Versus on Twitch. We're also going to, once 13 Sentinels wraps up, there's going to be, an opportunity to get some other fun stuff in there, at least for a little bit, or even get some more Demon Soul sessions in. So should be good. I'm looking forward to making some progress there. Get into fighting games as well, which is currently rescheduled to Saturdays due to quarantine. So we're doing fighting games on Saturdays at 3 p.m. So keep an eye out on the schedule on my Twitter.
We're locking it down out here in Quebec.
Yep.
Sucks.
All right. So let's take a quick word from our sponsors.
And I will also ask if we could take a quick word so that I may use the washroom and re-ice.
Okay, do that. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the news.
I'll see you in a moment.
Okay, so quick word from our sponsors then. This week, the podcast is sponsored by DoorDash.
Dude, I used DoorDash earlier today.
There you go. It's the place that gets you the food to keep you alive. It brings you the food to keep you alive.
I put the food in my tummy and I went num nums.
And what more is there to say? Do you want to be life? Do you not want dead? Then eat food. Eat food safe. How do that? Just order with DoorDash.
Hit button.
Then it's on the way.
Take money, give food.
And on top of that, they've even got household essentials in 30 minutes with DoorDash too. So more than just food. Big stink, get deodorant. Need
big stink, get toilet paper.
Need household essentials, you just get them through DoorDash now, just like that. Snacks, drinks, in addition to the regular dinners and meals, lunches, breakfast, whatever you need, or even your morning pick-me-up coffee. All of it available. All you got to do is you just get the DoorDash app. They've got over 300,000 partners in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, Australia, full of your local go-tos and your favorite chains, whatever you're hankering for. It'll connect you with the restaurants you love. And there's even grocery essentials on DoorDash as well. So they've got you covered for whatever you need dropped off to your house. So that's good. That's good. For a limited time, listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code CASTLE2021. Bam. New year, new code.
It's 2021, y'all.
That's 25% off, up to $10 value, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code CASTLE2021. Don't forget, code CASTLE2021 for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. There you go. Thank you, DoorDash.
Thanks, DoorDash.
And we are also sponsored this week, not by them, but by Imperfect Foods.
Oh, dude. This is a new sponsor, but I totally know what it's going to be.
Do you?
I'm super excited.
Because you're probably wondering, why would you actually be like, hey, our foods are imperfect? That seems like a strange route to go down.
Dude, I literally ate an imperfect apple immediately preceding the podcast.
Hell yeah, you did. How's that going?
It tasted like an apple.
Yes.
Like no shit.
Get your groceries from Imperfect Foods to create a kinder, less wasteful food system that embraces foods of every shape, size, and physical appearance. Every year, billions of pounds of food go to waste, often because it doesn't end up living to the strict cosmetic standards of grocery stores. So how do you prevent all that waste? Well, skip the parking lots, crowds, and lines. Get right to the good part of grocery shopping. Imperfect Foods can help. You can enjoy your groceries really simple in a way that's kinder and less wasteful. So they deliver sustainable, affordable groceries, including produce, quality protein, eggs, dairy, pantry staples, all straight to your door, and new discoverables for you to try each week. And all you got to do is sign up and create a flexible, personalized grocery plan. And then you can shop online each week and get affordable, sustainable groceries delivered straight to your door. So yeah, all that stuff where it's like, hey, that's not a perfect shaped apple. That's going to go in the garbage. Why? It still tastes great. Save that.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways I could go about this, right? One is like, as soon as you bite into food, it becomes goo, right? Well, you chew it a little bit first, but it becomes goo. It's all going to be goo.
Mm-hmm.
It's called chime, actually. You know that's the word for the goo that you swallow after
Really?
your saliva hits it. You turn it into chime, CHYME.
I
All
thought
food becomes chime.
Is that what birds do?
No, you do it too, man. Chewing your food is the first part of your digestive process. Um,
I just thought it was
but
called the baby bird. Anyway.
no, but anyway, so chime, you eat your chime. Guess what? Chime's not pretty. It's just goo. So who cares what it looks like on the outside? Alternatively, I was just thinking imperfect foods, just like people, you can still eat the ugly ones.
Okay. We can take it that
Right?
direction. That's fine.
Just as good.
All right. Looking for a route. Found the route. The GPS has updated and changed the roads.
The attractiveness has no bearing on the eating.
The GPS is off-roading us, I see. All right. We can do that. New route found. Listen, man, all I'm saying is a lot of stuff that goes in the garbage doesn't need to, simply because it doesn't live up to the cosmetic standards of the produce shelf. And this is a less wasteful way to go about your life. And plus, you can get a discount on it through this podcast right here. So,
yeah, it's for real though. I used to work at a grocery store, and like anything that even looked a little bit off would get tossed, and it was always ridiculous. Like what you would consider an imperfect food, like you would expect, oh, I'm gonna get a really fucked up apple. Usually, it's like a normal looking apple, and you wouldn't even be able to tell why it's imperfect.
Because it doesn't hold up to some insane standard.
Oh, it's kind of flat on one side.
Yeah. So,
big deal. You know, like seriously.
There you go. So right now, Imperfect Foods is offering our listeners 20% off plus free shipping on your first order when you go to imperfectfoods.com, and make sure to use promo code SUPERBEAST. You try Imperfect Foods now, and for a limited time, you can get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order. That's imperfectfoods.com, and use SuperBeast to sign up. One more time, 20% off plus free shipping. imperfectfoods.com, code SuperBeast. Thanks, Imperfect Foods.
Thanks, Imperfect Foods.
So, this week in the fucking nonsense news.
Oh, before we go on, I do have one last thing to say. If you want to see the total fucking downfall of a fucking capitalism and microcosm, go fucking look at the dumpster outside a grocery store and try and ballpark how many fucking people you could feed with that shit. It makes you want to kill someone. It is so outrageous. It is so disgusting.
What about the
it's the worst.
What about the tainting and poisoning so that the homeless can't eat it?
No, they don't do that. It's trash. They don't care.
I heard that.
Also, if you taint the food and the homeless eat it and they get sick, you're responsible for that.
Exactly. Yeah, but I remember hearing rumors about how places had to chain it up and put a sign out that basically said,
oh yeah, no, they chain it up. They fucking chain it up and they keep it in the basement, which is guarded by security, so that a homeless person couldn't possibly feed themselves.
Well, then that's how you avoid the lawsuit. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So, bunch of wacky shit this week, but let's just get right to it and through it. We talked about Resident Evil and the demo and the Village announcements, so we kind of covered on Lady D and all that shit. You played the demo. It was what it was.
It's there's no content at all, but it's very pretty.
There you go. Main thing launches May 7th. We also touched on the Guilty Gear Strive announcement trailer with the features and the modes. In that, there was the online stuff, but beyond that, they also touched on some of the other features, which include they showed off a picture where in arcade mode, it seemed like you could get like 2v1 moments or like strikers to like assist you. waiting for more elaboration there, but the trailer kind of mentions that like occasionally you can team up with someone while you're playing through it in arcade mode, and you see like Saul is fighting and like Kai jumps in and does like a little assist. So there's something there. I don't know if it's full 2v1 or just like a assist button, but seems interesting. But it's not the full-on tag battle mode that I was kind of wondering about.
You skipped something. Talking about the Resident Evil 8 stuff.
The rumors?
No. You forgot to talk about the announcement of Reverse.
Oh, yes. Yes, true. I thought, oh no, that wasn't last week. Right. Damn. There was so much discussion about it that I for a second thought it was already talked about. RE-verse is a pretty hilarious pun name. Good on them for getting that.
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah, it looked like online Resident Evil.
This looks like one of the worst things Capcom has ever put out.
Is it not just like online RE? Like basically the equivalent of BioShock multiplayer?
Yeah. But it looks way, way worse than BioShock multiplayer did. It legit looks like a Steam Unity game. Like, it looks so bad.
I saw a Leon shooting a Jill, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess you can do that.
The characters are all weird sizes. I don't know if you picked that up from the trailer.
No, I certainly didn't.
But they're being put in the maps, but the maps are too small, so the characters have been smallened so that there's room to do fights in the maps. And it's super weird. It's super weird.
I guess that the police station, like the one where Leon's desk is, that did seem a little bigger than usual.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
now that you pointed out,
I can only expect that there must be some people in Capcom that are just like desperate to make like Resident Evil esport or some shit, because this is like the 5th of these things to come out.
It's because
like
if
every
it works,
2 years,
it's fucking cash money millionaires. That's all.
Yeah, but they always give it like $40 and 10 guys.
Yeah, exactly.
None of which.
It's the idea that it might work, you know.
But also, like, it's even one of those trailers where it like the frame rate is terrible and all the footage, and there's like a mouse cursor just sitting on the screen at one point, and it's just like, man, this is like C-level effort.
It gets the investors to shut up about when are you gonna make your own whatever, though. It'll fucking do that. Hey, well, why can't we get some of that Fortnite money? Oh, we can. We're making our own.
Like it's just wild when you're watching the Resident Evil Village event and they're showing off the stuff, and it has so much care being put into everything about it, and it shows like, man, Capcom really cares about this game. And what about this though? And you're like, oh, you guys don't give a shit, huh? Wow.
It's hay for the quarterly meetings to just stuff in front of the cows and let them chew.
That's wild. I've been following Capcom's spin-off online things since they made them, and they have literally gotten worse with every game.
Have any of them been any good at all?
Outbreak 1 and 2 for the PS2 were weird but kind of solid, and every single thing that came after that was worse than the one before.
Wasn't like the Mercenaries games kind of just like wild arcadey action anyway?
They sure were, and they were great.
Why didn't they just do that?
Why didn't they just do that? There's a 3DS game that's that, and it sold pretty well.
Curious.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild You've never played, I can't even remember the name. Operation Raccoon City is pretty motherfucking bad. But have you even seen Umbrella Corps with your
I
eyes?
don't. I can't promise that I have.
It's astonishing. It was bad enough that when we did the video of it, we made sure that we didn't record for longer than an hour and a half so that we could use the Steam refund to return it.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, we were sitting there and we're like, holy shit, hey, check out the laptop. Make sure it doesn't go over an hour 30. Because we're going to fucking refund this the instant this video is over.
Wow. I feel like there was a game I got that didn't fucking work and I refunded it live, but I don't remember what
That's
it was.
oh,
Anyway.
I could do just, yeah, you know what? Cue up the next news story, and while you're doing that, go fucking look at 30 seconds of footage from the IGN video review that I just sent you. Just look at it. Look at it with your fucking eyes. It is the worst.
The fact that they keep trying though means something. It really does. Like, they're desperate to get into that world and get a foothold in it. And I feel like every time they reach in, they're pulling that foot out of fighting games to get closer to the esports world they want.
I was told many years ago by somebody at Capcom that this is because of a keep watching, motherfucker.
No, Steam Unity vibes, like, huge.
Oh man, there's a part where the guy's running around with a fucking axe that is just the most worstest.
Like,
It's
I can
at
just
1:30. It's at 1:30. Go to that part. I'm watching the IGN video review of Umbrella Corps review.
I mean, so I'm looking this to me, yeah, okay. Like, this, I'm hearing Jimquisition music playing behind it as he's talking about some other issue entirely, and you just have to stare at this footage while he makes his point.
So I want to point out that this Umbrella Corps shared superficial elements with Mercenaries, and I think internally this was, we'll make a Mercenaries game like this, and they made this fucking garbage. But I was told many years ago that the reason why these Resident Evil games come out like this is because there are internal disagreements as to what is the real Resident Evil. Like, what Resident Evil is really about. Is it an action series like 4, 5, and 6? Is it survival horror? Is it an online fucking... I don't know who over there fucking thinks that. Like, and or why, because it's literally never been an online series ever. But like, there are like 3 or 4 groups that are just always fighting over, no, our Resident Evil is the real Resident Evil. Now, hopefully those people have got their mouths shut the fuck up now that Resident Evil 2 remake and 7 have done really well. But like, holy shit.
I mean, it is interesting to see, because they like Capcom knows this is one thing people currently fucking love, and it's super hot. And, you know, if they're gonna take these swings and misses, I'd rather they do it with this than Devil May Cry. So Ari can catch
Devil May Cry.
heat.
What are you talking about? Devil May Cry has already had its swings and misses. It's like,
I mean, multiplayer fucking not foible nonsense specifically.
Oh, but wouldn't you kill for a good Devil May Cry multiplayer game?
A good one, I would murder for. Yes, absolutely.
It's really funny because they keep doing this with Resident Evil, and people go, "I would love a good Resident Evil multiplayer game," and every time they make it, people go, "No, not like that, like Outbreak," and then they pretend that they don't know what Outbreak is.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma, like There are levels in those games where you're playing with AI partners constantly. Just let them be player controlled, for God's sake.
Yep.
Like, just let the player control the existing AI partner, please.
Popping your DT already functions as a burst when you're getting comboed. It already kicks you out of boss grabs. Yeah. Anyway, shout outs to Hitchhiker. So, yes, there was that. There was Reverse. There is a rumor that Capcom Division 1 is taking over, and there might be an RE4 overhaul. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about it. Yeah, I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me can you ask me that question again so I can answer more succinctly?
Have you heard about the RE4 remake?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay.
Apparently, Capcom's not happy with M2's handling of Resident Evil 3 remake, and want to put Capcom Division 1 back on the RE4 remake, which would be the people who made RE7 and Resident Evil 2 remake. And that's a rumor going around, and I could say, yeah, I could say I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that if Capcom were to be making a Resident Evil 4 remake, the people inside that company would be well aware, oh man, can we not fuck this one up? If we fuck this one up, we will be a fucking joke forever. Do whatever it takes. Do literally whatever it takes to make this a good one.
I remember, God, I think it was, the stories would always be, whenever you heard a story that came out in the news like 10, 15 years ago, where it was like Capcom Division 1 or Capcom Division 4 were working on something, and it was always reason to get excited.
Yep. It's nobody. It's this thing. It's this thing where you don't want to diminish people's work on a game, and the Dark Souls franchise was the one that had it the worst with the A team and the B team, right? But it's unfortunate, and it's like where games are the product of huge amounts of individuals. It can't be understated just how much influence the right or wrong person can have on an entire project. It can make a world of difference to have somebody who knows what they're doing go, that's fucking stupid, don't do that, versus somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing go, yeah, that seems like a cool idea, let's blow 6 months on that. So yeah, when you hear about the right team, I'm doing big air quotes, being on something, so yeah. I do feel bad for M2. Apparently, they wanted to do a much more accurate Resident Evil 3 remake, and Capcom wanted big changes, which sounds like the kind of management decision that Capcom literally keeps making over and over again. Like, over and over and over. Hey, let's make a new one of these. We'll make it crazy different. I don't know if people want crazy different. It's got to be crazy different. Oh, people didn't like it as much as the one that wasn't crazy different. You're fired.
Yes. Okay. So
Dante needs to smoke in this fucking trailer. Like, come on.
Just don't call him Dante. Just make it an original IP.
Could you imagine how different history would have been to that game if the word Dante and Devil were not in that game at all? It It would have been viewed like a slam dunk. Look at this cool new IP from Capcom. I hope it has a future.
Well, Ninja Theory.
Yeah, whatever. People would have liked it. I would have liked it. I would have been so much more fair to it.
Yeah,
I've been like, holy shit, after Enslaved, this is a fucking slam dunk.
They
Holy
stepped
shit.
it up, yeah. And then Hellblade, and then like, hey, look at that. Their last 2 games, fucking, there it is. You know? But it's
It legitimate, like, whenever you hear about Capcom kind of dipping their toes, it always makes me wonder, like, how much of that fucking version of DMC was Capcom going, no, differenter. Differenter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that, and then we swerved away from the Strive features, which included I mentioned the little assist thing, story mode coming back. It looks like it's there. Something about the trailer implied like the final decision that Soul chooses or something. So this might be something to wrap up. And quite frankly, the way things are at the moment, there are only a few questions left to answer. They're big ones, but there's only a few questions left. So the story of Guilty Gear could theoretically wrap up here, and it would be okay, because
I believe that
they've gotten stuff out of the way. What else did they mention? The gallery. Oh yeah, GG World with the relationship chart, so you can now click on a character and see all the lines and dots.
That's actually hella amazing, because some of that's really complex.
Very much so, you know. So yeah, you can go fucking click on Justice and just see 80 lines pop out of her and see where they go. So that's going to be interesting. The gallery, rollback, online netcode, lobbies. What was it? There was a picture I saw that was showing you. Okay, it's not here, but there's a screenshot I saw of the there's training mode, tutorials, and then I saw a matchup learning screen that had a text that says like learn the chip matchup.
Yeah, in the training mode they describe that. No, sorry, not training. In mission mode, or one of the single player, they describe that they will teach you how to deal with real situations.
Yes.
And
seeing that,
I assume,
that's like the idea of a matchup is a real crucial piece of information that is emergent. Like you learn it by playing the games anyway, but straight up handing you that information is absolutely crucial and critical. And it's a piece of tech that I've talked with people that are like actually like working on fighting games and stuff. We've had discussions about like how to implement these types of things, and like I kind of had an idea in mind, which was like, if you have a replay system and you have ghost learning, which exists in a bunch of fighting games now, but the ghost replay data is not really that. There's not much to do with it besides like, hey, look, it plays a lot like me and creates an AI. Shadow mode in KI is a little more advanced than like the version in Samurai Showdown, but they both kind of amount to like, yep, it's an AI version of me. They had it in Virtual Fighter Final Showdown, I remember, as well, in the arcade tour mode, or maybe it was 4 Evo actually. But why not use that same learning system to recognize mistakes, point them out, and let someone know that like, hey, in the future, right? Like let's say you had 2 or 3 moments where you blocked a big old fireball and then you didn't hurt the opponent afterwards. It can just straight up let you know that like that was an opening that you missed a couple times, right? Let's practice how to do that.
I would like a situation where I'm looking over replay data and I'm in the corner and Potemkin jumps in and I fail to hit my anti-air, and a little text box comes in and goes, 84% of players that miss the anti-air against Potemkin in the quarter die within 15 seconds.
Stats.
It's vital to hit your anti-airs if Potemkin has pushed you into the corner.
Oh, did you get mega fisted and without doing your 6P? Yeah, 84% of players. Yep, that's good. That's good. The data, fear data. I like it. Yeah, Tekken has been putting a bunch of features out. I know Tekken includes punishing a school. So Tekken has specifically like blocking this move by this character that they do often. Here's a good punish for it, right? So it gets you part of the way there, which is good. I'm not just talking about punishing. I'm also talking about like other scenarios that you can capitalize on that the game will just straight up teach you. Like, oh, this when Guile does his sweep, his feet swing around twice. So you have extra long to challenge that.
All I can think of is the system just like naturally ending up becoming like a shaming system instead of a teaching tool. That's like only 3% of all players have managed to lose the round with this kind of life lead at this stage in the
Yeah, 2% of players keep getting hit by Ground Viper after the first 5. Interesting stat.
Block Ground Viper.
Interesting stat. Just so you know.
That was the incredible.
Oh boy, man!
You know what's funny?
Bullied by data. Bullied offline by data. Like scrub quotes is just gonna be a fucking pie chart. It's just gonna be a pie chart and someone getting really mad at it.
I have experience dealing with this kind of system. I don't use it quite often, but I have in the past used something called Final Fantasy Logs, which you use a parser to record your raid data when you go into a Final Fantasy 14 raid, and it maps out the encounter and then records all of your movement. And it will tell you, it'll hit you up like, do you have a gray, green, blue, or purple parse, which is what percentile do you rank in of damage per second, and then it will break down. Listen, you missed 4 cooldowns during burst windows. Hey, you got hit by X% of AoEs. You would not have died here if you would not, etc. Right? And like you'll do it and you're not good, and it will just rain shame upon you. It'll be like, you missed your rotation here, you missed the burst window here, you died here, your uptime was down here.
Okay, yo, you it appears you've started the last 10 rounds by jumping forward.
You have lost the last 10 rounds.
Interesting. You've started the last 10 matches by holding up forward every single time. And here's your loss ratio. Interesting correlation here. Here's what you fucking do. You take that AI learning fucking system that can create ghosts of your playstyle, but instead of making a ghost, you just create a fucking flowchart and show you your flowchart. Because you can do that. You can literally create the round 1 fight super dash. We going in.
No,
did it hit? No. Mass jab. Did it hit? Yes. Mass jab. Auto combo. Do I have meter? You know?
I think the natural end result of the situation, after you play like Soul for a while and you switch to Chip, and the system will tell you, listen, you've lost every match you have ever played as Chip. And then it locks Chip out from you, and when you go to click on it, it just puts you into training mode.
Try the basics. Yeah, just encouraging you to just, hey, let's go over to this mode. Are you sure you want to back out of this online match? No, I just want to play. I just want to picture. Are you sure you want to leave the game?
you were in training mode. Let's try some beginner combos. And then if the system's really good, it can get real condescending. Like you do like a basic jab 2-in-1. Wow, great job! You're really getting up to the big leagues now.
Oh my god. You have done a wake up DP every time you hit the ground for the last 5 matches. Every single time you've woken up, you've done a DP.
It is hit 4% of the time. Legitimately, any system that could surface even like really baby versions of this data would be incredible. Really simple stuff like, hey, how many throws did you tech?
Yeah. Or you're in neutral, right? Like nothing's happening right now. You're not losing damage. You're just actively in neutral, but you're kind of just like standing there or just doing the same thing. Like you have no movement, it'll just go, hey, what are you doing right now? What's your plan right now? Are you thinking of anything? Do you have anything in mind right now?
Dude. There's a lot of like easily surfaced data that I think you could totally actually show people that would help them. Like for me personally, I just saw somebody mention it and it snapped me to life, which is tell me how many bars of meter I created and were lost because I was sitting on a full bar.
Okay, so yeah, the thing is there that it doesn't mean always use your meter. It's not always use it or lose it in 100% of the cases because sometimes
but if it tells me that I could have had 3 supers,
sure, or you had conversions that you didn't take. Here's a jab you landed but you didn't convert anything. Damage on the table. Here's everything you didn't get out of that moment. Oh, here's all your dropped combos. We noticed your bread and butter is here because you do it all the time, but here's how often you drop it.
Oh, man. You know what would be the ultimate, but it would not apply to us? If you're playing and you drop combos all the time, it backs you out to the menu, and you look up and it goes, are you sure you live in this region? As it changes the flag to Canada. It appears that
the tutorial updates to be Canadian resets. Canadian resets. Drop combo, reopen it up with the mash.
Canadian. Who invented that? Who became
someone
the
on
Canadian
commentary?
region?
Someone on commentary. I don't know who it was. At one of our events, just look. We had a guest that came up and they're like, oh, there we go. The Canadian reset. He dropped it, but he picked it back up and we won the round. It's all good.
How can they plan around a reset that I don't know is going to happen?
Okay, when you eat like the 10th overhead, the game just pauses and just goes, dude, listen. Son,
you know what?
Listen.
we have a decent comment from the Peanut Gallery. We have somebody claiming to be a data scientist, says almost nobody would take advantage of this data because most people tend to disbelieve data that they don't agree with. And while that does ring true, if you go to the trouble of clicking on the help me get better data button, you are within the percentage of people that actually care what it wants to tell you.
There's that. There's also the part where even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. You can watch a replay that just shows it back to you. So it's objective. Like, no, you really did a DP every single time you woke up. Here's the replay.
Well, I do have
1,
bad news
2,
for you.
3,
it's kind of
4,
astonishing
5.
How many people will ignore objective evidence.
Oh, that's fine. But it's still there. They're allowed to be stupid and crazy. That's okay. Wow. Yeah, that is, dude, like a fucking mean-ass game that just says, fuck you, what are you doing here? That's not the feature I was trying to design or that I was thinking of. I was legitimately discussing a feature that was like, find a lesson that applies from the have a bunch of matchup lessons and then find the 1 or 3 that would apply to that round or that game you know, so that you can go like, yo, literally, here's how to get better in that exact match right away, and immediately start covering those mistakes, you know, so that the frustration goes right to a place where you can go, fuck it, run it back. I'm about to learn how to do it, you know?
There is a feature that I did not mention in the Final Fantasy equivalent of this, that if it were introduced into fighting games, it would be stellar. And when you do your parse for your FF log or your FF14 analysis, whichever, you know, it's a whole process, right? You're not just parsing yourself. You're parsing the entire 8-man group. You can see everything and everyone's data. So I think it was Mom's girlfriend that put up, they found the worst dancer ever, and they put up the log, and the person literally was hitting a single button over the entire raid with 1 minute and 40 seconds in between button presses. Right? You could see that. You can look at the data and see, oh my god, this motherfucker is just like absent-mindedly clicking on a button, just da-da-da-ba-ba-doo, like trying to get carried, right? The fighting game equivalent of that would be fantastic, because it would be like, let's go look at the replay of the guy you just lost to, and you look at their data, and the computer's like, I don't know how you lost to this guy. This guy's trash. This guy can't convert, never hits their anti-airs, always wakes up super.
How they perform in every other match. Yeah, okay.
The player you just lost to loses 99% of their matches.
We just noticed 85 stick inputs within 2 seconds.
Are you all right?
Data is beautiful. Data is beautiful.
I would love to just see global data. Data like, did you know that in Street Fighter V, 60% of supers don't land?
Sure.
You know, like that's a made-up number.
No,
but
totally.
like, wouldn't that be crazy to think about?
It would. It would be really
like
interesting.
80% of throws go unteched.
So here's what I want too. On back to like a real note here. When I see a matchup number, it's nice to know that this is a 7-3 matchup, but I want to know like how much life you have on average. Do you win by or lose by? Are these close rounds? Or are they domination, you know? What are we looking at with the remaining life bar on the winner? You'd be curious.
I just thought of my very favoriteest data point you could find, which is you're loading into the match and it says 15% of players who have lost to this player have not played since.
Achievement unlocked.
Like
send him home. Yeah. No,
achievement unlocked. You have bullied 20% of your matches out of playing the game.
You're hurting our business. If someone doesn't log in like for another X weeks, you gain some form of fucking you gain something from their profile. You claim their soul.
I love it.
Wow. Brutal. That's where
League does that as well. Like the blitz.gg thing, it'll tell me, hey dude, you totally died in these types of skirmishes. Most people don't. You should focus on that.
Also, after X amount of weeks, even without adding them to your list, if that bitch goes online again, the game's like, yo, this bitch just got online. Fucking fight him right now.
Would you like matchmaking priority?
This bitch just logged in. You want it? You want some? First dibs? Fuck him up. This
One
is
of the one
this
of
is the
my
best fighting game in the world. This is the greatest game.
yeah,
ever.
the one we just created in our minds. Yeah. One of my favorite experiences in fighting games was when Clemps was over at my house when he was visiting,
Enemy
and
codes,
I
baby.
gave him the basic, like some real basics for DBFZ, and he played a couple online matches, and he played one against like a Teen Gohan player that he trounced. Like he was dominating, and he was dominating because the person didn't look like they knew how to play the game at all, and might have been a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like he was having lots of fun, and I just started to yell like, "Make sure that kid never plays again!" Like ruin their day. And like he won, and we were like high-fiving, and we were like, yeah, we bullied that kid out of their Dragon Ball game. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. This is imagine if you could like voluntarily turn the feature on though in a way so like when someone starts to playing the match where like I have a bad habit, I'm trying to get rid of it. So this is on, and as soon as I match up against you, the game for both of us, like the screen just says round 1, he's gonna jump, fight. You know, like, and you have to stop your moment, your habits. It's like when you used to put your hand to your mouth after landing a throw. It's like you call it out right before they do it, and they have to go, oh damn it, fuck, and stop what they're doing and change their habits, make you a better player, you know?
Just like giant increasing large screens during all the intros, like, don't jump. Don't jump. And then you jump and get hit by something, and then it slowly fades in. I told you.
Yep.
I just realized,
Anyway.
like, fighting game players want to create an entire community out of Sasuke's. They want every child that gets their life destroyed to be like, no, I'm going to get so strong. I'm going to get them.
Foolish little one. Run, hate, get stronger, and come fight me when you're older.
No!
And then of course yes, why aren't fighting games more popular, quote unquote, Wooly? Stupid assholes tend to use that as if that's a quote I've actually ever said. My discussion
Wooly is the leading world scientist on why fighting games aren't more popular.
When the fuck has your stupid brain ever heard me say, why aren't fighting games more popular? As if I don't have the discussion about all the problems and try to go the other way with it.
No, the difference is Wooly has said, why aren't fighting games more popular as an esport, which is a different thing.
But even then, we know why. There's a million clear reasons why.
It's because they're bad. It's because they're bad games. It's a terrible genre.
It's the most obvious fucking thing in the world. There's no mystery to it. It's how do you make it better? It's where do you go from here? We know why. We know about the problem of the uninviting game and the unintuitive.
If they made good games, they'd be popular.
It's the dumbest oversimplification. But anyway, back to the fun.
I would actually I want to grab a hold of that because I played Day of Defeat, I played Counter-Strike, I've played StarCraft, and I've played League. If you think the mentality of holy shit, we're gonna bully these fucking losers out of the game because they're new is unique to fighting games, you're fucking crazy. It's a rush in every game. Gatekeeping new players by ruining their session, by stomping them into tar, is fun in everything. Everything. You probably shouldn't do it if you want your thing to grow, but fuck them. Fuck them dead.
Yep, so that's it. That's a good ass. That's gold. That's gold in the bank, Jerry. You know. Yes, and if you and like I do have to say that like if your conclusion is anyway, whatever, why even bother? It's like Because if you just kind of look at that and go like, well, this entire discussion is why, and it's like we're obviously joking and having fun. But if you wanted to draw that conclusion, but you didn't like hear us talking about like, I don't know, Tough Love Arena 3 weeks ago and about how awesome and friendly and engaging and fun that is and how simple and easy it is to step into it. And if your brain just went blah and ignored that conversation because you go on to this one and just this is where you latch on to, then I can't help you. You know, there's nothing to say. You edit your world and your reality to be what you want, you know?
When I was 14 years old, I played Day of Defeat almost every day with a clan that was made entirely out of cops from a fucking southern U.S. state that hated me.
Wow.
And wanted me to quit. And they were assholes. They were as bunch of assholes as you could fucking expect. And I got really good on that server until they banned me for calling them a bunch of shit, but I was better than them at the time, so it was okay. But that's the kind of formative experience. Just rise up through the dirt and the hatred of your betters, quote unquote, until you can tell them that they are losers.
Someone just said, Wooly, I saw your positive conversation and I skipped past it, and I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate that. That's the honesty I'm looking for.
I was banned from the cop server for being too toxic.
Nice. It's good. It's good. Have you heard about the military Twitch?
Oh. Yeah. It's not as fun.
Don't post certain things there.
That's the server I got the Snapshot King nickname from the one guy who was really nice to me, who happened to be the best guy on the server, as it usually ends up being.
Can I ask how you ended up on a cop server to begin with?
It was a stable server that ran a good rotation of maps. And I didn't understand what CPD meant when I joined it. And I had been hanging out with those guys for 4 months before I realized that it was Cops Play Day of Defeat. Because they all kept bitching about work, and I never really asked them what work was.
Damn. That's good. That's good.
Because Day of Defeat always had all those shitty servers that would run like Avalanche 24/7. The only fucking map is Avalanche. It's like, no, I want to play Jagged. I want to play Kang. I want to play Saints, etc. So this was a really good thing. And then I didn't talk to people online when I first started playing Day of Defeat. I only got the headset later.
Okay, so your baby voice didn't give you away.
My baby voice did give me away, which they thought was hilarious, right up until the shit talk rose and rose and rose and rose and rose and rose to eclipse their shit talk. A lot of formative mental experiences in speech in that shitty server. You make a 50-year-old man with a real job and a badge so pissed off he can barely speak.
Was the word donut typed into your chat box at any point in time?
Oh, my chat? Oh, no.
No?
There's no chat boxes. It was all voice. It was all just...
Oh. Were there utterances, perhaps?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I remember trying that, and the comeback was like, yeah, donuts are good. Who doesn't like donuts? And I was deflated.
That's true.
I was like really... really, really deflated.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Toxic Day Defeat Cop server moves on to Toxic Halo 3. And then just started, I remember that, then that was replaced with going over to your house and playing Third Strike all night.
Right.
Like that was the path.
Strange departure. Most people don't go that way.
Yeah. And then you get older and you're like, you shouldn't be toxic. It's bad. But try telling that to a 12-year-old. I don't know if you know this, but children are toxic as shit.
I mean, they have to be molded in it, but if you poison them early, they will eventually get plague resistance. So
I'll tell you, yay. Here's the problem with you're completely right. Kids have to be learned to be toxic. Guess where they learn to be toxic? At fucking school.
Yeah.
School is toxic. How are you supposed to tell kids not to be toxic online and then send them to school? What kind of message is that?
And now that school is online, or in certain places,
you're right.
Fucking, yeah. Let's roll it all in.
Oh, man.
Speaking of toxic, we can go two ways here. Actually, there's different. Let's go to the first one. Japanese government discussing stricter copyright laws on cosplay.
Fuck off to hell.
Cosplay, new rules may regulate social media photos and profit made from cosplay. So, an ongoing debate within the government, according to online news site Nikan Sports, is that they're moving forward to create laws to alleviate ambiguities in the current copyright laws. So, while cosplay that is not for profit is unaffected, cosplay photos posted to social media and cosplayers who make money from events may become liable for infringement.
So, before we go any further,
what?
We all need to set the stage. Japan is crazy for copyright. Like, if you think you're living in the United States or Canada or Europe and shit is bad out here, fucking thank the Lord you don't live in Japan, because they are bananas for copyright infringement. Like, there's no fucking comparison. And this is just like step 35, I guess. Somebody in chat says Dojin is fine, but cosplay isn't. They actually just started to crack down super hard on Dojin. And there are a lot of Japanese pornography artists that are very nervous about drawing their pornography because the copyright shit is very nebulous now and carries criminal infringement.
So this is, of course, insane. But I'm thinking about how one, Japan has for the longest while had like the craziest, most talented, amazing cosplayers that are professionals that do that as their jobs full time.
Yep.
You don't put out shit, like you don't put out quality like Omi Gibson and not be doing that like your job.
9 to
like,
5.
It's a fucking, it's a career. And so a bunch of professional cosplayers, the ones that you can imagine with the most elaborate outfits, costumes, and crazy shit, are now potentially in trouble for literally making a living off of the fruits of their super hard labor because greed is fucking rampant. And it reminds me of like the esports Jesu controversy with like competitions and fighting games and shit that was happening down there. Where
that's always so fucking sad.
It's just the grossest shit ever because, like, essentially a private organization just calls themselves the official organization and pushes their way in, and like even without full government involvement, as long as they get those companies that support that make the games to like go, nope, got to go through this private organization now, then money exchange hands behind closed doors and you have to deal with this bullshit. Like in this particular case, they're saying nothing has been rolled out yet, but it's been in discussion for a long time, and professional cosplayers have been discussing it, like it's on the way to rolling out. They're saying, okay, so Enako is the person they kind of quote here. Cosplay that is not for profit will not infringe copyright, but submitting photos to membership-based exchange sites, SNS, such as Instagram, or receiving remuneration at events may violate copyright. If you go to an event and sell photos of your shit, you might get flagged.
I have good news for everyone. Unfortunately, Japanese people have never found a way around laws such as this. And pachinko is definitely not gambling.
Right, of course.
There's definite this. If there was ever a society that would be unable to find some ridiculous workaround to get around this shit while technically being legal, it would never be Japan. Oh, no.
See, at the same time, though, like, if a bunch of assholes in suits start walking down the artist alley, there's very little you can do, you know?
Wooly, I swear to God, this is literally the plot of Yakuza 7.
Oh, okay.
There is a movement in that game called Bleach Japan, which is about purging the gray zones of morality in the country. Like it is dead on.
Wow.
This exact thing.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, there's like, if you look at like a fucking comic-het, you know, and you just have someone walking around handing out fucking tickets to cosplayers that are, again, like doing their jobs, or people that are sitting at their tables selling their shit, like, that's a pretty healthy way to kill the concept of fandom right quick.
That's also a really good way to create an incredibly easily abused government position. Looks like I'm going to have to shut down your shit because there's too many titties here, unless... That being said, Japan, don't do this.
So,
do you know what happens when you shut down a thriving industry like this in your home nation?
Mm-hmm.
You cause outsourcing. This only allows the foreign titty cosplayers to steal your goddamn lunch.
So
of which there are many, and they're ready.
Here's the thing, because it's very clear and obvious how these stories always work. Right underneath this particular one I'm reading, the number one related story is Japan's number one cosplayer reveals her staggering earnings at this year's Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So one story like this is all it takes to get a bunch of fucking dudes tightening their ties, sweating real hard, grubbing those hands together. You know? Dudes who look like, the fucking the thug that Ogata gets into fights with in 13 Sentinels?
Wajima?
Yeah. You know the fat guy on his crew with the glasses?
Yeah.
That kid. People who have that face. Wide with the fucking round glasses. That greed face. People that look like that are reading this article about the cosplayer earnings and just getting fucking hard thinking about all the cash they can scavenge from this situation.
I have a mental image of how this bill was enacted. Are you ready for my we're gonna role play the Japanese government. All right.
The diet?
So sure, whatever. I don't know how, overweight they are, but hey, that joke sucked. Oh man. But all right, so the gentleman who drafted this bill, whatever, sitting down in the morning, open up the newspaper, reading his newspaper, folds it, looks up, gives a little eyebrow thing.
Shimbun. Yep, reading it.
Turns to his friend on the diet, goes, "Whores, huh?" And the other guy goes, "Yeah, huh? Whores." And they both stand up and go, wash their hands, Off to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll fix that.
Yep.
It's literally the same thing everywhere in every country.
Yep.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy goes, these whores. We'll fix that.
Yep.
Hope my mistress isn't too mad at me. I should call her later.
Rewind 20 years to when they were younger and doing low-angle cameras on people unsuspectingly wherever they could. Yep. That sucks, man. That is super shit. And I really hope that there's a way to fucking dodge what seems to be undodgeable, because every time, something like this happens, they win. The corp wins as far as Japan and the laws go. You can't fight that.
Get ready for the news article of suspicious amount of attractive Japanese people are leaving the country for abroad.
I mean,
they seem to be going to an island.
Most people are not willing to deal with the shit. Most people are not willing to, be isolated and made an example of. Shout outs to people like Momochi, for example, who fought back for as long as he feasibly could against a principled issue. But it ultimately is just, it results in nothing. Like, this is most likely going to just steamroll the entire community. But
now, obviously, I want to point out to everybody, if you're Wooly and I live in Montreal, what I would call the capital of Whore Island. The prostitutes or the sex workers rather, because it encompasses more things, have a union here, and they go yell at the mayor. It's a very different culture.
I was going to say, like, before you put that label down, there are a lot of places on planet Earth that have more sex work than Montreal does.
Yes. I don't know how many of them have their unions, though.
That's true. Fair enough.
I mean, does Thailand have a union?
Probably not. Gonna go ahead and take the no over under on that one. But anyway, so that's happening. And not too far over, in fact, a short flight away, news reports are saying that Tencent is raising billions to potentially buy out EA, Take-Two, or others.
This is literally the part in the JRPG when you're about to fight like Golbez and Zeramus knocks him aside.
I mean, in case you haven't heard, hostile takeovers are still a thing that can happen in the business world. We talked about a couple not too long ago. And they're saying right now that Tencent might be trying to raise billions on a debt offer to fucking buy out video games.
Like this is like, while this is obviously a gigantic story in terms of like business and impact, I could not think of anything that would actually affect any of us or anybody listening to this podcast less, as like EA, Activision, and Take-Two, kings of scum in the industry, might get bought out by a similarly scumbag but foreign investor, right? Like, what is literally what is the worst that could happen to these already awful companies?
They're also potentially targeting Netmarble and Nexon. So that's like Dungeon Fighter and shit like that as well. Yeah, they're trying to make some big moves, and I think like it's been clear for a while, and it's been the subject of many stories, and in fact, a pretty good episode of South Park too. But like, the game plan economically from companies like Tencent and China is to sort of like get embedded in an undeniable way in the market, so that whatever problems you might have with the party, fuck you, we're the market. You know, feels like a pretty solid strategy, and of course, business can and often does always win out in the battle versus like other horrible shit going on. So yeah, it's kind of nuts to see it playing out. And if we saw this, the thing is that even though you're pointing out that like the companies listed in this story are ones that we've known have done some garbage shit, there's no reason to believe it stops there. It just feeds the beast, and then it keeps going out from that point forward.
But this I'm talking specifically about this, right?
Yeah. But part 2 of the story always becomes like and then it just grabs whatever else is nearest to that, you know?
Well, there's very little I can actually do about that. If the company has infinity money and wants hostile takeovers of everything it can get its hands on, I can't stop them.
Yeah.
I can only complain when that does, in fact, go through. However, when we're talking about, like, let's say Activision, right? Like, Activision just absorbed Vicarious Visions so that they can be sent to the WoW content mines. Fuck. Like,
yeah. So you never know what's going to happen if someone comes along with enough buying power. For example, if you had a stock in a speculative mom and pop, or not mom and pop, in a speculative brick and mortar video game shop that everyone expected to die within days, if not weeks, and then a bunch of dank memers on Reddit got together.
Oh, man. This is... I love this. Because
I do too.
I have talked to people, and they have like hit me with the line of like, oh, the market and the stocks are important and the valuable function of the economy. And I have responded with, stocks and the stock market are bullshit. It is a confidence game. It is magical thinking for rich assholes.
It's gambling.
And sure enough,
it's definitely it is definitely a casino game, and like there are analysts and people who can like break it down on a level where you can do the equivalent of card counting to get surer bets in what you do. But as the name implies, Wall Street bets are just that. And as somebody who keeps an eye on that subreddit on a regular basis, seeing the way the action plays out was fucking hilarious in this particular instance, because the story we're talking about, of course, is one where GameStop stock was ever since last year, everyone expected and were betting on GameStop going out of business, so its stock dropped to like $4 or something like that.
Dirt cheap.
And then it blew up 125% due to the Wall Street Bets subreddit kind of getting together and basically going against short sellers who were expecting and basically investing in the price getting worse over time until eventually it goes out of business. So it's interesting because I follow following the subreddit, and we talked about the story last week because it was brought up on Letter Time, and then you kind of going into it, there's a lot of complicated shit that goes into figuring out what's going to happen and why. But what the key points are that GameStop had, while it was cheap, while it was low and cheap and on its way to dying, as everyone kind of expected. Also, not forgetting about the ridiculously immoral things they did that we had people working there writing in to tell us about at the start of the pandemic.
Assuredly killed people, by the way.
Crazy level shit while they quarantined safely from their homes on conference calls, telling people to get out there on the front lines and shit. So my understanding is some guy and a team of investors and business restructure people, some guy and his friends kind of saw this and then decided to come in and basically take over the board of directors and turn the company into some other shit. Is what I heard the story starts with. Someone came in and decided to shake things up. Ryan Cohen, is that the name? Yeah, okay. And then from that, people were like, well, right now this is what happened, and there's a change in the board of directors here, and then there's going to be people are still holding on to purchases that are effectively expecting this price to drop lower, and then they are the short selling market is based on betting that something is going to get worse over time, not better, so everyone gets together on wallstreetbets, which is basically just fucking I don't know, it's like
tanking your life savings for the lulz, man.
4chan Wall Street ideology, and they all kind of got together and went let's do the opposite and push it in a different direction. And if enough people push the cost upwards, then people who are holding on to these short sell stocks have to immediately buy them. Otherwise, they keep losing money. So they have to buy at whatever the increase is, right? So they kind of create a chain reaction of that happening, which then, of course, increases it more. And all of this was apparently exacerbated by the fact that the original, of all the shares for GameStop that are for sale are not actual shares anymore. The people who have the shares are not really selling them. So everything is kind of just options in a weird way. So that factors into the volatility of this situation as well. And the end result is stonks to the moon overnight.
It's the ultimate thing of let's all pretend this thing has value. Hey, look at that. It has value. We created money out of nothing.
But the money was based on other people that bigger firms that bought a whole bunch of nothing that wanted to profit on it becoming more nothing.
So, but it's the whole it's a confidence game. I use that term specifically. It's literally, if you can convince people it's good, it becomes good.
Right.
It's fucking nonsense.
So to the moon, and people were straight up posting I'm paying off my credit card bills. I'm fucking dude was like, I can go see my kids.
Oh no. Somebody in the chat just said that Pat money isn't real, and it's oh no. Oh no, it's true.
Money's not real.
God.
We printed more.
No.
We printed more.
You just print more?
I'm sorry. Did you miss the part where the Federal Reserve was a private company?
I don't know. I did miss that part. I don't know anything about that.
Did you miss the part where the people printing the money was a private company that works contracted to the government, and that it's not the actual government?
I failed macroeconomics.
Well, welcome to the Feds, son. They literally just print money, dude.
Wait, can they print out money and give me more money? Can
they could if they wanted to. All you got to do is fucking get on Wall Street.
Oh, okay.
Choose to be a bear or a bull.
What?
Those are terms for people that invest on rising or lowering stocks. It's a thing.
I hope that Wall Street realizes how deeply, hilariously homosexual that sounds.
I mean, it certainly could be. Now, Pat, just to check.
That sounds like a sex thing.
Just to check. It actually, I mean, it is, but you do know that, like, having money is not actually a guarantee of gold, right? You know
yes,
that
I'm aware.
There's
We've
the gold
moved
standard.
off the gold standard.
Okay.
Yada yada yada.
Okay.
Ron Paul, be quiet.
All right. You don't want to audit the Fed, son? You don't want to fucking...
I don't want to...
No? All right. Listen, it's a fucking hilarious, insane thing that I don't think any of... We were sitting there talking about, like, wow, this piece of shit company can't go out of business fast enough. Hope the employees... can get what they can fucking safely find a way to get a job somewhere that's not trying to kill them. And then the internet gets involved, and now you've got Mad Money Jim Cramer guy.
Yeah,
like
you got him. Hack.
You got him arguing with fucking trolls on Twitter.
Oh, it's so good.
Who made more money by going against the machine's shit on this and fucking cashed out. And he's like, "Nuh-uh, shut up. You're missing the point." It's a wild ass story. GME. GameStop. Man, what the fuck? Anyway. God bless. God bless.
What a mess.
Stocks only go up, friends. They only go up.
Yeah, the company's got to increase in value forever.
Except for the part where, as of a couple hours ago, it then went down by, it went from $150 to $78. So, there's that part. But
hey, you guys want to hear a really fun thing about companies? Activision just made like a record year. Like they made the most money they've ever made ever. And they just bought Vicarious Visions, which employed 200 extra people. Watch them fire more than 200 people so that they can get the extra bonuses and better stonks. Watch it. It'll be within 2 weeks.
It's good. Hey, man, I much prefer this kind of Wall Street than the regular one.
Give me a second. There it is. All right. Yeah, you know what? That is an improvement.
Is what it is.
Hey, wait a second. If I started calling the stock market and everyone just bet against literally every single thing I said, would we all become millionaires?
If you could manifest crazy talk into actual investment plans, yes, you could be a hedge fund manager. You could be a hedge fund manager if you could monetize crazy talk.
Yeah, just like, hey everybody, I'd be a hedge fund manager and like try and be really good at my job and partner up with somebody who just did literally the opposite of every single thing that I ever said.
Just start talking up Tesla and how fucking awesome and how much you can't wait to invest in Tesla, and then let the stand do the work. Get me
fucking started.
Let the stand do the work.
You too can be rich if your family is wealthy conflict gem mine owners. Fucking motherfucking Elon Musk piece of shit.
What else we got here? There is a
fucking up their kid's life by making them a rich person with a horrible robot name.
I have to. I want to like. Do they just go 12 for short, or is it Ash, or is it X? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
I don't know. They probably make a series of bizarre clicking and beeping noises at each other because they're fucking aliens. Grimes is from Montreal. Good. He can keep her then. Get that shit out of here. I love that. Whenever somebody points out, did you know that this embarrassing thing, like, I don't know, Good Charlotte is from your area? I'm like, fucking good. Keep them. Get them the fuck out of here. Make sure they never come back. Fuck off, Good Charlotte. Your fucking weird black glove shit and the rhinestones. Oh my god.
Apparently it's pronounced
every fucking person
Zaya.
I went to high school was like, I love Good Charlotte. You fucking get out of my face.
All right, well, yeah, I don't know. You can go down your road on that one.
I don't know where I'm going.
I have no. I
don't know where
I was gone from the start of the fucking departure. I abandoned ship nice and early on that one. But anyway.
Beep boop. Mike, your electric car was made with the money from dead orphans mining emeralds. Beep boop.
Hey, I'm not a driver, but I do want to own an electric car at some point if I do get on the road. I don't I would not want to have to fucking deal with gas and bullshit in this city. That I know.
That's fair.
It's fucking up. It's an apocalypse out here. So if and when I do get something, I'm going electric, like 100%. We got a weird, confusing story that then I guess got clarified. Konami was restructuring, and that led to some confusion as to whether or not it seemed like they were shutting down their gaming division.
No, they're putting all of their gaming divisions into one big blobbing homunculus of a gaming division.
Correct. So it turns out it's not that, just in case, because there's people that were looking at the list. And to be fair, it's a page on Konami's website that just has a bunch of names and just says, this is where these people go now. So people were like, is that it? Are they just closing down their game production divisions 1, 2, and 3? And it says they're dissolving them, and then yes, exactly, they're restructuring and putting them into a single larger group, but it's not shutting down the gaming division.
I mean, everybody picked up the story, but I mean, it's not like it matters to anyone. They're all being held in those rooms at gunpoint, being threatened to not make games.
Well, I was gonna say that, like, it doesn't matter whether you make one big division out of 3 or make 9 divisions out of 3 or 1. If there's no output, it still equals $0.
They're being held in front of their computers, and there's the guards pointing guns at them saying you can't leave because you'll make games for other people, but don't you dare touch that keyboard.
Which company should buy Solid Snake? Kojima Productions, obviously, but if you had to get a little more fun with the answer,
Sega.
Really interesting. Yeah. Okay, I would say Sony.
I trust Nagoshi and the team.
I would say Sony.
Metal Gear
I feel
game.
like Sony would be the right place for that to wind up.
Yeah, I guess. That being said, like, that's not going to happen. They'll never sell it.
Never in a million. But
you know what? I just see in my mind's eye a situation that didn't happen and isn't real, but is funny to me, which is a gentleman at his Konami office, under the watchful eye, realizes, oh no, the guard is coming closer, The guard yells, "I don't care who Tim Rogers is. That's a goddamn video game on it. You fucking shut that down." And he goes, "But it's Tokimeki Memorial. We made that." Only to be pistol whipped and the computer shot.
But if you
No games.
But if you follow the right guard that's wiggling their ass, you can find a friend to help you get out of the mines.
You watch that shit? You watch that Tokimeki thing?
Not yet.
It's a fucking emotional roller coaster.
I watched the Snatcher part of it, and I was very entertained by it.
I've never played Tokimeki Memorial, and I think now that Tokimeki Memorial might be one of the greatest games of all time.
I got a really good Snatcher summary and review, or just situation description in the middle of that video, so I was pleased with that discussion about Snatcher. Yeah. So, the hostage situation continues over at Konami, and we'll see what happens. You know,
We'll see if anyone manages to escape and tell us about the conditions on the inside.
Yeah. Seems like they're just, they're handing some of the hostages guns, and now those hostages are becoming the perps.
You ever see a comment that is so ridiculous that you have to put, like, I just saw somebody, because we're talking about who would buy what and make what. Somebody says, get Nagoshi to make a Snatcher game. Nagoshi literally already made a Snatcher game. It's called Binary Domain.
Binary Domain, yeah.
It is like the same plot as Snatcher. Guy who said that, if you want to play that, dude, that game exists. You can literally go play it right now.
But if we live,
isn't that a weird feeling
when something exists?
When you go, hey, they should do that, and someone goes, they did do that. And you go, what?
Yeah. True.
Like, oh man, I wish Kojima made like a card game. He did. He did make a card game. He made 2, actually. What? Really?
Hey, they should make an anime for Zone of the Enders. Should they?
They did.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like if we lived in a just world, that would be a Koji Pro, Luden's acquisition of the Metal Gear Solid brand. Anyway,
I actually want Koji Pro to do all weird shit from now on. I'd way prefer another flawed game like Death Stranding than another Metal Gear.
I mean, it is true that if he reacquired it, he would then feel pressured to make more of them. And that's not what we want him to feel. But yeah, weird shit's good. But it would be nice for them to basically just reacquire it just so that Yoji could keep painting and making some art books. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Here's another fucking glorious piece that you've never seen of me painting fucking Raiden and Snake hanging out, doing cool things. Okay, yep, that works. Good. Ship it. Okay, so there's that news. Nioh director. No current plans for Nioh 3, but hopes to return to the series in the future. Ninja Gaiden news coming soon.
I could go for a new Ninja Gaiden.
I weirdly never got into Ninja Gaiden.
The first one's like stellar. Like absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like it came out around the time of DMC3.
Mm-hmm.
And is absolutely its direct contemporary.
Yeah, I remember how big of an impact it was because it was super hard. I remember everyone talked about the difficulty a lot.
Yeah, the second one's pretty good, but it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
The third one's really not as good as the second one.
Obviously, we're not talking about the Nintendo franchise to anybody who is like sleeping, but the 3D Hayabusa remakes or sequels rather.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden Black is like incredible.
I tested Sigma Black for like 2 days. I just jumped on a team to help out something real quick, and I did some QA on Sigma Black. But what was it? It was like a weird port. Man, it was like not Wii. I don't know. It was getting ported to something, and I remember touching that. Yeah, I always thought it seemed interesting, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just never sat down and really got in. I think at first I just didn't have the console, and then after I don't know, like I never was compelled. But I remember watching my Shmup God Pat play a bunch of it and getting a vibe for like how hard and fast shit was. So yeah,
it's fucked.
Hasn't been anything in years, so more of that coming. What would be cool is if they take the lessons learned from Nioh in terms of just quality of life and apply them to everything they do from now on. That'd be fucking amazing for Team Ninja. Not Team Ninja.
Where the fuck? Omega Force? I don't know who would be making it.
You know, whatever. Tecmo. No, Team Ninja. Team Ninja. I'm right. I am. No, I am right.
Team Ninja, just sans oatmeal.
You know what happened? We were talking about Ninja Theory earlier, and my brain fucking just mishmushed into Team Ninja Theory. Okay.
That'd be a terrible studio.
Not great. Now, my idea of the situation is that Nioh 2 is such a fucking complete package that I think people are okay chewing their plate for now without a Nioh 3. But yeah, we'll see. Then we had the hilarious story. I always love when by the time we get to it here, there's an update or two updates to it. But the first version of the story was the Xbox Live Gold free games for February price increase.
Yeah, that sucked. And Xbox Live, like the fact that like free-to-play games on that service needed Xbox Live Gold to work has always really sucked ass. And then they were like, we're going to kick up the fucking price.
So we've talked very positively about the Game Pass for a while, because the Game Pass has been an incredible offer that has been continuously doing the hypothetical Netflix for video games thing at a really good value, because you're getting it on your Xbox and on PC. So it's just sign up and then you got a fucking bunch of games to pick from. There you go. That's it. It's done. So we've you know, that's probably their best move. Their worst move would be announcing a price increase at a time when people can't fucking afford groceries. Like, how about you stay that for a second, buddy? They announced a lineup of free games for Gold subscribers in February and a price increase going forward. The new prices will be $10.99 1 month, $30 for 3 months, $60 for 6 months. With the increase of $1, $5, and $20 respectively. So, yeah, not a good time to throw that down, and the internet let them know. And then, as of I think a day or two later, Microsoft reversed the decision and announced that their free-to-play games will no longer require Gold membership to play online, and put out a statement saying, we messed up and you let us know. We're sorry.
Man,
Here's
the fucking response to this was just crazy negative. Like, universal, like, vicious, spitting hatred.
It was kind of a what the fuck do you think you're doing response, really. And And then yeah, so they backed down on that one, and I mean, some folks were understandably like, hey, thanks for listening to people, but also like really the fucking gall of the decision. It's like price hikes do happen. It's not an unheard of irregular thing. It's just like, yeah, the particular timing is pretty rough.
I want to give a shout out to the person internally who was like, don't fucking do this, and got shouted down by their boss before they went ahead with the price hike.
Now, rest assured that, business is business. Capitalism's capitalism. You got to make your money, and you're going to see this at some point roll out to do whatever they wanted it to do, down the line. But they're probably going to let it sit for a while and perhaps introduce it in a stealthier way, or maybe even rejigger the like savings per long-term commitment versus short-term commitment.
I don't know what their fucking plan with Game Pass is. They can't possibly make any fucking money off that shit. The amount of money they have to pay out to devs to like subsidize the fucking copies that they're phantom selling with that shit must be so crazy.
Maybe it's like attach rates where there's something about the service that's not the service itself that is worth it.
Yeah, but it also works on PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. There might be something.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. That went down. Yeah, and then I guess
stop saying that money isn't real, guys.
It's not.
Should I burn all my money?
How? It's on fucking PayPal. You don't even have it.
Sure. I don't even have most of my own money.
It's a number.
God!
It's a It's a number on your phone.
Wait. You're telling me that there isn't like a little pat envelope at the bank that has all of my dollars in it?
Dude. I mean, look.
There's a little safety deposit box that has all my $1,000 bills that the bank gave me.
So, as someone who has in their life owned a safety deposit box, I can tell you that I remember walking on down there to the branch to be like, oh, let's go in and open up that box, and then seeing a sign that was just like, hey, this physical building is like closed for probably a few months. So whatever's in here is in here. So yeah. Hope the fucking, the great collapse doesn't occur between now and then, because that's the end of that, friend. You don't fucking own anything.
But I watched A Wonderful Life, and they all went to the bank to get their money out, and the bank had their money, and he gave the money, and then the bank went under because they didn't have any money anymore.
Under
and then
the
he was
mattress,
like, I should kill myself.
Son. Under the mattress. That's the only real place. Take your phone, open up PayPal, and put your phone under the mattress. And now it's safe.
Why do I open up PayPal and then put it under the leg? Does that even make any difference?
Now it's safe. Now your money's safe.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to put it under my butt cushion.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I did it. Am I safe now?
Okay, now let's talk about Bitcoin. Money's fake, Pat.
I don't want to talk about Bitcoin.
Money's fake, Pat.
Okay.
It's not even remotely close to real.
Wait. Hold on. What else is fake?
I was going to say you can take some solace in the fact that the Canadian dollar is slightly less fake than the American dollar, but I don't know. I don't have a segue for that.
I'm glad that the chat has universally replied with birds.
Birds aren't real.
Birds are not real. That's my favorite one. That has yet to be topped for me.
I remember when
Birds
it started
not being real.
It started with birds are weird because of
yeah.
That was I think Penny Arcade had a book they put out with that.
I mean, birds are weird. Yeah, that's true.
And then it just became birds are fake. Words are fake. It is true. Words aren't real. You know what's not real? Time isn't real. 2021, 2020, all that shit, that ain't real.
We can't start a fire.
Please.
You can turn up the thermostat, but we're not
Cold.
we're not doing a caveman thing with logs and shit.
I'm so cold.
Just go over to the thermostat and turn it up.
Please don't make me put on a sweater. It's
Just turn up the thermostat.
Okay, so on that note, girls are not real.
Girls aren't real?
Have you ever seen a girl?
I have seen a girl. I'm looking at one right now.
Okay, but counterpoint. Have you?
Counterpoint?
Have you really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure I got some hands on. It felt real.
What if you're wrong?
Cool. Then I have a really good imagination. Didn't feel like sand at all.
They're not real. It turns out you were going your own way all along.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh. Is that a thing? Is that even a thing?
You thought you were walking in the opposite direction, but the girls aren't real. So it's always been your own way.
Oh, this sounds super depressing. This sounds real viciously depressing.
Oh yeah, man. It's good shit though. It's good shit.
You talking about those femoids? I can't laugh like this word for one. I shouldn't have said the word.
I told the story. I told the story where me and Reggie went to fucking Evo, and we were in a cab going from one hotel to the other, and we just happened to get the right cab driver that was just like, hey, what's up, boys? What's going on, y'all? Y'all hitting up the clubs tonight? What you doing? Having a good time? Seeing any ladies? What's up? You know, and we're like, I don't know. We're just going to go back to, you know, the video games and have some video game fun. That's what we're here to do. And he's like, yeah, man, no, Vegas is crazy. Y'all can have some crazy ass parties tonight, you know? And I mean, really, like, shit, the way my fucking ex-wife is, I say you should party it up because, man, just tired of these bitches, you know? Like, anyways, y'all heard about that MGTOW?
Oh, man.
And I'm like, excuse me? And it's like, yeah, man, that MGTOW, you know? The going their own way, you know? And I was like, yeah, I have. And I'm like, ooh, we got a good one, you know? And that's where, that's where like Reggie tries to basically escape the cab through the glass window that is up. But
it's really, really funny because there's two types of personalities, right?
Yeah.
You described Reggie trying to escape, but when me or you or Paige, I'll get her into this, discover somebody who says this crazy shit, we fucking latch our asses into the seat and lean the fuck forward.
I do the rotation with my hands. Just keep it going. Keep it going. Oh yeah? Well, what's up with that? What's up with that? You know? Where do you think that's going? What do you And I gotta give a shout outs to, there's a channel on YouTube called All Gas No Brakes. because they
that's
have
a good name.
they have it's a great channel. They just go out to fucking wild ass places and interview people in insane precarious situations. And there is a patented tactic that I have learned from that channel that is 100% incorporated into my strategies these days.
Oh, yeah?
You go through the talk and it's like, what's going on, right? What do you guys got, right? And you'll be like, yeah, man, you know, like my fucking ex, just this, that, da. So we just tired of these bitches. We going our own way with it, you know? Like I'm living my life for me and da. And like anytime you encounter somebody where you're like, this is going to be a fantastic 10 minutes of my life as long as I have an exit strategy. As
long as I can leave quickly when need be.
You need to, so you let the story go to its natural like climax, and then you need the golden finale, and that is the final question. And who do you think is responsible for that?
Yeah, whose fault is it, man?
And who's behind all of that? Who's
who's
behind all of that, huh? What do you think?
My it's funny. Every time I've had this happen,
they look around, look over both shoulders. Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah, it's them. But who's them?
Them.
Little wink, little nudge.
It's the best fucking closer.
I gotta say, the times it's happened to me, it's crazy. I shit you not. I've had 2 of these experiences. Both times, you know who it was? Want to hazard a guess?
Uber driver?
No. One was Uber driver, one was massage therapist. But I mean, who them was?
Oh, well, there's the obvious.
That's right.
The quote unquote globalists.
Yes. Nope, not them.
Okay.
No, it wasn't the globalists. It wasn't you guys. It wasn't even the lizards.
The
Both times,
Lalo.
aliens.
Oh,
Aliens.
Wow. That's refreshing.
Straight up.
Hey.
Aliens.
That's refreshing.
Both. They came and they took me.
Okay.
And that's when I learned about the ley lines. That was the massage therapist. The Uber driver just didn't elaborate very much more. But
okay, that's a swerve on it. Didn't see that coming. I'll take it.
If you had sat there for 3 hours, you would have totally seen that coming.
Fair enough. But like, it's the type of thing where, like, talking to like flat earthers, you know, or just like fucking or dome people, or you know, all of that
ice sphere,
anti-vaxxers and shit, and it just
have you seen the ice sphere?
I mean, yeah, probably. Like, I've seen the ice wall, you know, like, and you go down all these fucking places, and then at the end of the day, you know, just to see if this truly is the same spaces that we all inhabit here, and you're just like, and who's behind? And they always it's like fucking rabbit sniffs the bait. What's that over there?
the hey man, the defining trait of a conspiracy theory. As somebody who used to be a conspiracy head, like back in my youth, and am totally fascinated by them to this day, the defining trait of a conspiracy theory is you need someone to blame.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have somebody to blame,
yeah, your
shit's gonna go nowhere. It will go fucking nowhere. No one will give a shit.
Yeah. And the person you're blaming has to simultaneously be incompetent but extremely competent at the same time.
Yeah, they have to be incompetent enough that the person you're talking to can convince you that they've seen through it, but they also have to control the whole world. The whole world.
It's pretty incredible. Anyway, last.
All right, I'm winding down. We got 10 minutes to go before
that's
I start
fine.
to
Let's
freak out.
leave people on this. SVC Match of the Millennium has been rated for Switch in Korea.
That's
so
cool.
that's the one that was on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Pretty fun one. Pretty fun Capcom versus SNK game that a lot of people didn't get a chance to play. It's good. It's fucking fun, and having just played Pocket Rumble, great time. So that's gonna be a cool one to see. And second is just a tweet, but it's a fun tweet. LizardCube, the folks behind the new Streets of Rage 4, and
That's a good game.
which with a really cool art style, as you can recall, decided to make a Mark of the Wolves 2 mock-up for funsies. And it's a screenshot, it's a HUD, it's HD. I've tweeted it out, but I'm going to retweet it again just because it's
Looks
glorious. And it shows their style, their take on a new sequel to Mark of the Wolves. It's just a mock-up screenshot. But the things about it is, one, it's a company putting this out, so it's cool that it's like almost like a, hey, let's get that interest going for our take on this, almost like Double Helix with Strider, you know. And then two, they used a character specifically, like they called him Boss Fur, but they used this black guy with an open jacket and like a big fuzzy coat, and that character is not a random original dude they made. He's a remake of a sprite that came from a leaked screenshot of Mark of the Wolves 2 when it existed. So that is a designed character that actually there's a screenshot that came out and showed you the roster of Mark of the Wolves 2. There's a prototype build that never leaked or came out, but they had it. And it was Garou plus another 6 characters. And this is one of them. So fucking that's the level of kudos that I appreciate, is like, oh, you drew a dude from a prototype artwork that like most people missed and you fucking did it, you know? It's like bringing in like King Cobra, for example, you know? So that's super cool. And then they actually got the producer on Sam's show, shit, what's his name? Yasuyuki Oda, who I fucking had a nice conversation with. That's very rude of me to forget. But he replies, not very good, with a smiley face with shades on.
Why would he do this?
And everyone's like, oh no, why would you do this? What happened? And I want to say Hi Fight found the translation error where if you put the word, if you type in Japanese, wow, it's pretty good, isn't it, into Google Translate, but don't put a question mark at the end, it turns into not very good.
What the fuck?
So in all likelihood, he Google translated but didn't include the question mark, which translated the entire thing very, very differently.
Thanks for nothing, Google.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good stuff. Like I wanna say that if we look back in time and history, we can say that this moment of miscommunication is why Mark of the Wolves 2 will never happen.
It's true. That's the only reason.
Okay. Take some letters and get out of here.
If you want to send in a letter, you can send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Wooly usually reads these letters. I will listen to him read at least one letter.
All right. We got one coming in from Dr. Bunny saying, you've both played the 13 Sentinels and Frog Fractions. Which game is harder to talk about without ruining what makes them special?
Frog Fractions, no question.
Easy.
I refuse to elaborate further.
Yep. We can still tell you what's structurally cool about 13 Sentinels. There's nothing further to be said about Frog Fractions. Or its DLC.
I can even show you parts of 13 Sentinels.
There you go. Yep, that answers that. Cool, we'll leave it there. I'll save the rest for next week.
Yep. Play Frog Fractions is good.
That's a good one. Yep, so just in case you missed it, folks, taking the week off personally to do the next Guilty Gear lore video. So I will be back probably on Saturday with a session of 13 Sentinels since we're so close to the end. So we'll that'll be my schedule coming up. And you?
I'm streaming shit.
He's doing
Come
stuff.
hang out. I'm streaming in the afternoon now because I'm waking up at 6 a.m.
Damn.
Fatty Pig Dog needs to pee, so I got to be up.
All right.
That's how it is.
Everyone have a good week. Take care. God bless.